hype shit, you know that's me. Came through, that's old news, that backwood get chopped, screw, can't pass shit, I don't know you, bitch, freeze me. When I step up, can't hold back, can't show out, just show face, no hype shit, you know that's me. Came through, that's old news, that backwood get chopped, screw, can't pass shit, I don't know you, bitch, freeze me. Hop in the roof, gone, feel like I'm too gone, scream at the moon, dog, what would you do, dog, if you wanna move, dog? And people you know, they get so jealous, they want that you screwed, dog. You niggas so fake, why don't you face it? Wake out the waves, I wave on a spaceship. I did me for once, and you couldn't take it. Since I could taste it, you know I'm the greatest. Muhammad Ali told me to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Spike Lee said, "Hey chief, fight the power that be. If we don't, how the fuck are we expecting some peace? Y'all niggas got me in Z's. When I step up, can't hold back, can't show out, just show face, no hype shit, you know that's me. Came through, that's old news, that backwood get chopped, screw, can't pass shit, I don't know you, bitch, freeze me. When I step up, can't hold back, can't show out, just show face, no hype shit, you know that's me. Came through, that's old news, that backwood get chopped, screw, can't pass shit, I don't know you, bitch, freeze me. All I ever wanted to do was be a baller, a shot caller, hang with some brothers. Had some bad bitches in the crib that'll swallow. After that, I just take them hoes to get some Starbucks. I can never get addicted cause I'm inconsistent. If you decipher all my words, then that might cause some friction. I had some trouble in my youth, but I won't get specific. And I just wanna save my soul, so I keep my distance. I deal with demons on the daily. Motherfuckers call me crazy, I'm depressed, they call me lazy. Cheer me on, this shit so shady. I found love within myself, I'm the one that fucking raised me. No offense to my parents, but right now I feel amazing. After I graduated high school, I lost my mind almost. Took me 2 years to find out who I really was. When I step up, can't hold back, can't show out, just show face, no hype shit, you know that's me. Came through, that's old news, that backwood get chopped, screw, can't pass shit, I don't know you, bitch, freeze me. When I step up, can't hold back, can't show out, just show face, no hype shit, you know that's me. Came through, that's old news, that backwood get chopped, screw, can't pass shit, I don't know you, bitch, freeze me. When I step up, can't hold back, can't show out, just show face, no hype shit, you know that's me. Came through, that's old news, that backwood get chopped, screw, can't pass shit, I don't know you, bitch, freeze me. When I step up, can't hold back, can't show out, just show face, no hype shit, you know that's me. Came through, that's old news, that backwood get chopped, screw, can't pass shit, I don't know you, bitch, freeze me. Hop in the roof, gone, feel like I'm too gone. Scream at the moon, dog, what would you do, dog, if you wanna move, dog? And people you know, they get so jealous, they want that you screwed, dog. You niggas so fake, why don't you face it? Wake out the waves, I wave on a spaceship. I did me for once, and you couldn't take it. Since I could taste it, you know I'm the greatest. Muhammad Ali told me to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Spike Lee said, "Hey chief, fight the power that be. If we don't, how the fuck are we expecting some
Hey everybody, how are you doing? Don't forget that hot mix comes from my girl, Chrissy Wayward. Chrissy with a K, Wayward. Please support the youth, support their music. If they're doing anything positive, we have to be the ones supporting them. So today, yes. I don't know if this is a new interview or old interview, but whoever haven't heard of the interview, this was one. Oh gosh, here go Carter. Here we go. We're gonna check out the interview with True slash Aaron and Sheba slash Kendra. Right. So let's get ready to get into that. Remember, she did this interview with the T, baby. Now let's go.
So it just made me want to really focus in on my life and not really so much of how other people are viewing my life or um, what my life needs to look like to others. You know, I wanted to just I wanted to be at peace with myself. You know, and it takes a lot of work from coming out of that type of situation to come to peace with yourself. I personally feel
Absolutely.
yeah.
It takes a tremendous level of it takes a tremendous level of strength that I don't think people really understand. I think unless you've, kind of been in a situation where your life has been kind of blasted online, without your permission or without your consent, kind of maybe against your will, maybe not. But just a lot of people know about it. You guys have a tremendous resolve, if nothing else. And I'm I'm so glad that you guys took the time that you needed and that you don't care about, what people think. You're healing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
key.
it took a lot to get there because at first it was, yeah, it wasn't that way. I mean, all of those years, what we were doing a lot of stuff for online, attention and stuff. And so, you know, it wasn't, I didn't even realize I was doing it. I'm like, okay, I'm posting this stuff trying to prove that, I'm a good mother and I'm a good person. I don't want people to think I'm this bad person, but I had to realize like I can't control what people think about me. And then I also just went through like, okay, I just want to like remove myself all the way from this cult stuff. I don't want people to think or even know I was in the cult. And I'm just gonna act like it never happened. But it's like impossible because every day it's like I know it's there and I know
Yep.
that it's never gonna it's just always going to be a part of my journey. I mean, it was 5 years of my life. That's, I had my son during that time. It's just a lot of things. It changed me. It really did. And so I realized, and it wasn't long ago. It was like maybe a couple weeks ago. I realized I'm like, I can't act like this never happened. Like I have to use my story to help inform people or something, like, because I just felt like I've done a lot of research on cults and I've listened to a lot of ex cult member stories, but nobody looks like me. Nobody sounds like me. Everybody has a different story, and I just felt like a lot of people, especially in the with us Black people, we just don't realize how close we can be to these type of situations. And I don't know, I just felt like I could help someone, and I was just like, I felt like I was, I felt like, how it's like your purpose or your soul's work or something is telling you, it's like, okay, hello, this is what you're supposed to do. And I just felt like I couldn't run from it, anymore, or try to hide from it or be ashamed of it. Like it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Probably people probably don't realize was like it takes a lot just to say like I was in the cult. It just takes a lot because it's some embarrassment. It takes like I said, I take that time to become to peace with myself and realize, like, I didn't go through this because I was a bad person or because I was stupid or anything. It was a lot of other factors and things that happened, manipulation and sleep deprivation and starvation, a lot of things that I wasn't aware of how I was processing at the time. I wasn't aware of it, but um, and it also takes just a lot of courage to speak out, against it, uh, or bring awareness to it. So,
Absolutely. And I think a lot of people don't understand as well is that when you're being deprived of sleep and you're being deprived of nutrients, you're not thinking properly. You're easily manipulated. You're easily controlled. You are like a zombie, and it's kind of like what they do to soldiers in the military. And I know Aaron is very well accustomed to that, and has an understanding of how how that works to program the subconscious, because these are tactics that he was utilizing on a group of people that didn't sign up to join the military. So you guys have been through a lot of psychological trauma. Tell him to retry it,
okay, let me tell.
or something that is something. It says his device is not connected. Tell him to re-click the link.
Okay.
I just put it in the chat again. Yeah, use a lot of soul. He used a lot of truth. You guys, if you ever listen to a sleeping affirmation video, or one of those frequency, those certain frequency videos to get that, to lift your vibrations. I mean, a lot of information he stole from this affirmation.
Oh,
It could correct itself. Let me see. Tell him to connect to make sure that his mic and his cam are connected before
okay. Let me text him. He went to the other room.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
You got it?
Yep.
Yeah, it was my microphone.
Your microphone sound.
Is it not? It don't sound
Oh
good.
no, you're good now. Yeah, we can hear you now. I couldn't even connect you before.
Oh yeah, because I
All
had
good
it
now.
was the mic was off.
No, but it's so good to see you guys back on the scene. I mean, your voices have been so instrumental in understanding really truly the depth of when it's very interesting, because you guys were two of the last to leave. You're two of the first to join and two of the last to leave, so your comprehension of your entire experience is extremely important. So I'm thrilled to see you back and to see you stronger than you were before you left. You guys were strong then, but I knew that you had a lot to unpack, and you still do. How you been,
Yeah,
Aaron? How have you been?
I've been good. One thing I hated about being in the cult was our need to lie at all costs to maintain a certain presentation to the public. And I've seen, and I don't want to mention nobody's name, because you mention somebody's name and then it opens the gateway of, now they got to respond to what you said, and then now you got to respond to what they said, and then they got to respond to what you said. I'm not doing the back and forth with people, but we've seen certain ex-members go out and not really digest what happened to them, and because of that, consequently, they go out here and repeat the same patterns and behaviors that they were displaying in the cult. So I don't want to do that. I don't need to
Would that
come
be
out
so
here and make it
long?
seem
Nay,
like, hey
nay, and
y'all, I left the
velvet?
cult and now my life is just spectacular and wonderful, peaches and cream. It's not. I neglected to pay off debt that accumulated over the last 5 years of me playing as if the system doesn't exist and as if my straw man doesn't exist. I have to pay off debt. That's a part of what I'm doing. what I'm doing is not all glamour. It's not all celebration. Being away for 5 years, when I say away, means being away from reality. I now have to reintegrate myself back into reality and clean up the mess that I refused to look at before I left. Also, learning about cults, because when you hear the word cult, most of the time what we think about is Jim Jones and Charles Manson don't drink the Kool-Aid. But it's so much bigger than that. And most people aren't going to dive into cults that deep until it affects them directly or indirectly through somebody that they know. So a lot of the things that we do, even coming from me, it doesn't make sense. But there is logical, scientific, psychological explanations on why people who are otherwise normal can be brainwashed and conditioned and influenced to do some really ridiculous things. And sometimes when people ask me questions because of how deep it is, I don't have the answers for it. But best believe, since I left September 27th, 2022, a large portion of what I've been doing with my life, besides cleaning up financially, has been trying to figure out what it was that happened to me, not from somebody's opinion on YouTube, but from actual clinical psychologist and cult expert perspectives. So it's a lot of work, a lot of work. And that's how I've been.
Trust me, I understand it. Just just supporting someone who has left the cult and who is so heavily still steeped in that brainwashing and that mind control that they've been under for so long. I don't think the public does really understand how devastating that is, and what it can it affects, it impacts every aspect of your life, your decision making, your value of yourself, your how have you guys managed to uh I guess keep your heads high? How have you managed to walk with your head high after everything you've been through?
Well, for one, me and Kendra, man, Kendra's family, Kendra's side of the family is amazing. Like the support system that we have from people who, you know, knew us prior to going to the cult has really helped us uh, get back on our feet. A lot of people who left the cult may not have that same support system. You understand what I'm saying? And also, me and Kendra having each other. It's one thing to leave the cult and have people on YouTube to talk to. It's another thing to leave the cult and have somebody that you know for a fact know what the hell you talking about. Kendra knows what I'm talking about is true. Y'all, even y'all who
Like I told you guys before. What's up, Yemi? What's up, baby? Like I told you guys before, they they are still they don't know it and they may not understand it because they're going through withdrawal, but they are still in the cult. Long as they have things that only them know and they can communicate to each other, they are all still in the cult without knowing that they're in the cult. I explained this to you guys last time. And now he's basically saying what I'm saying. Even though they're out the cult, they're still in the cult because they only could understand each other. They know what each other been through and they know what they have seen. They know what they could say and they know what they cannot say. The minute you break from all of that, then you're out of the code. You're out of the code. And like I said, they may not be physically there, but because of their experiences, they're still there until they like, you know what, this is everything I saw. I'm not saying leave Kendra, and that is your baby mother now. But I was explaining that to you guys before, so I don't really have to get all into it now. And if you don't remember me saying this, he did a video on Max V's channel, which I covered. Hey, Rusty Chips, which I have covered. and I had went into more explaining. So, this is another interview with him with the T. So we are now going over it, and yes, we still wish them well, but the same way we was trying to tell them that they was in a cult. A lot of things we was trying to tell them before, they didn't hear us. So maybe because they out of the cult, maybe they still not gonna listen to us when we say, yeah, you are. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm gone. I ain't gonna do it. Yeah, you still is. Hopefully they listen to that part too. Because at each stage, when they get to whatever they know, they don't hear what we say. And then when they realize it, then they're like, okay, yeah, you're right. you know, until they could go up there and look that man in the face and put that man behind bars, you are still in the cult. They don't understand. If that man get out because of the things that he have done, you guys let him out without knowing that you let him out. Y'all did not go there. I don't know if you did or didn't. So I'm not going to say that you didn't do it. I don't know what you guys done behind, closed doors and in your own private. But I am saying, if that man walk away and he destroys more lives, that would now be on you. Telling us is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I'm glad you're speaking the truth. I'm very happy of that. But as long as you don't go, look at that man in that face, look that man in his face and say, these are the things that was done. And when that man make it out and he destroy other people because y'all decided to leave it alone and don't do nothing about it, you guys are still in the cult and you guys are still helping him be a cult leader without even knowing that you're still doing it. Because we know that old saying, when you say nothing, that means you agree with it. So even though you're speaking out to us, you got to do it where it's legally done. So yeah, when him and her speak, yeah, of course they understand each other. Now I said this last time. And they all, I don't care who they be around. Y'all all have certain things or certain memories or certain things you saw or you did or heard about. That's going to forever keep y'all binded until you break it. You have to break it all the way. So certain things was done and you don't want it done to nobody else. Only you can stop it. Only you. I'm really not here to catch y'all, and no lies don't know. I ain't here to catch. I ain't doing all that. But I just have to say that because the message, what I'm saying is really not for Kendra or Aaron. I'm just saying in life, period. If you know something is wrong and you don't say nothing, you don't do nothing about it, you're saying forget about the next person. I'm out. They're gonna learn their way unless you go break it. You have to really cut that cord. He's a very dangerous man. Very. And you guys don't know how long he's been dangerous. Y'all trying to figure it out, but there's really nothing to figure out. He was dangerous since he was touching on them little boys. He was dangerous since then.
Or watching, some of it is obvious, but you don't really know like me and Kendra know. So whenever I say something, I never have to second guess or think, does what I'm saying sound true or does it sound crazy? I know that I have somebody to my left, to my right. My wife knows exactly what it is I'm talking about. So that's
Exactly,
major.
Remy.
That's
Yes.
major.
Yes,
As
Remy.
well as, like I said, finding about found out about cult documentaries and cult experts and real deal psychologists, people who don't do nothing but study these groups when everybody else thinks it's a joke. The information that they're able to provide, it makes you feel like, oh wow, first of all, I'm not crazy. Second of all, I'm not the only one that this happened to. Third of all, there is life and recovery after this type of situation. Because, for example, right, somebody going to jail, that's common. You can find somebody that can relate to you that went to jail. You was on drugs, that's common. You was in an abusive relationship as far as husband and wife, that's common. But you know how hard it is to find somebody that was also in a cult? It's hard. It's hard. So I feel like I'm fortunate to have the support of Kendra's family, some people in my family, some more than others, as well as Kendra herself, who I share these experiences with.
I love that answer because, and I'm so glad that you mentioned support because that is one of the, I mean, just, watching Janae's journey since leaving the cult, I had no idea how much support you guys truly needed after leaving. Um, it is pretty immeasurable. I think at first you can't really kind of can't measure it until you've gone, a certain amount of time and you've seen you can go back and systematically you can analyze the growth month by month, quarter by quarter, and look at where the person was emotionally, mentally at the start, and look at where they are now, and it's like, whoa. So I look at Janae's growth, and I look at you and Kendra, and how just rapidly aware that you guys have been willing to make yourselves, and how much dedication you guys have put into uh understanding what you went through and why you went through it, and your healing. And you guys have a lot of still so much more time uh to process all of this because you're not even halfway there yet, but keep up the great work. You guys are setting an example that I appreciate you spreading to the masses because it's needed. It's not a game. This is your real life. So
Right.
this is people's real lives, and that's why it was always kind of hard for me to kind of do commentary on what you guys were going through. I think just with growing up in the type of religion that I grew up in, I could understand how deep cult programming goes and how much it literally takes over a person's can take over a person's entire life, like it did with you guys for so many years. But there's hope. And so that's the walk away, is that there's always hope. And each of y'all are a walking proof of that, living proof of that every day. So
Like, is there any background noise on my end that's distracting from the conversation?
no, it's not distracting.
No, it's not bad.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I see my little
I,
voice thing, my little circle
Yeah,
around my profile picture keep moving. So
it's very very subtle. So
okay, okay, I just wanted to make sure.
yeah, no, you guys are good. So yeah, I'm just glad to see you guys being willing to have these conversations, and still being vocal about about your journey. How, as far as like, and I don't want to be too I don't want to intrude too much or be too nosy, but how much of a joy has it been with you guys to parent your son away from the cult? And as you are healing, how much more enriching has it been for you guys to just be the only ones that are implanting seeds into him?
Mhm. Yeah, it's I think that like that was the most emotional part of the healing process for me, was just like seeing him being able to grow and be a kid and have a safe place. Like that's one thing that I'm so grateful for every single day, that he has a safe environment and love around him. And you can just see it all through him. Like he's just like always bright and talking and laughing, and he really loves being around his family and us. And it's just like, I mean, I'm telling you, that's the most emotional part. Like, it took me a while to just forgive myself, as I felt really guilty about having him in that environment. Um, but like, I'm really, really happy that um, I left with him, before he was 3. And I feel like he just had a fourth birthday party. We celebrated his birthday for the first time. And he just had a wonderful time, and like, he got to be a kid. And it's just so beautiful. It's really like the best thing. Like, Josh, the best. He's the best. He really
He
is.
really, you guys, if nothing else, I want to tell you guys, he was a bright light in the midst of
Yeah,
darkness. So, you know, so
yeah,
thank you for, forgive yourself.
yeah,
That I know that's a process in and of itself as well. No parents are perfect. None. I was baptized at 9. I think one of
wow,
the things that as parents we as we go into becoming parents on our own is, you reflect back on the things that you went through, and you kind of just try to do better for your own. And we make mistakes along the way, but it's how we handle them that matters, in the long run. So just thankful that you guys were able to share that light in the midst of darkness with people, so that they could pour that energy into you guys through him, if nothing else. And I feel like every little bit counts when it comes to, that type of energy that we're dealing with. What are your thoughts, Aaron?
Um, I think that one of the worst things about cults is the inability to utilize your own mindset and determine what it is you feel like is right or wrong. So being in a space where I get to set the example rather than waiting on somebody else to set the example for all men in the world to follow has been good, because stepping away from the cult and realizing what it was has allowed me a lot of time to examine so many flaws in our mindset. In the cult leader's
Hey,
mindset,
Fundi.
it's
Hey,
it
my
looks
YouTube
good when you're in an
sister.
isolated
Hey,
environment,
baby. What's
but
up,
when you're
Fundi?
outside of it and you look at how that behavior will lead you into harm's way, is something that you don't even want to keep when you're amongst other people, because humanity is a very diverse thing. Nobody thinks the same, and that's okay. So when you're inside the cult, looking at everybody and determining whether or not they're good or bad, depending upon how well they can think alongside the cult leader, it debilitates you, almost like a person in prison who learns what my wife told me is called the program. If you're in prison, that program works in prison, but when you come out of prison, that way of living is not effective amongst people who are in everyday society. So when I look at the cult leader, I'm like, dude, as a person, you suck, because you don't have a large capacity to consider a device patterns of thinking. The only people that you can exist around are the people that absolutely agree with what it is you agree with, and that's limiting. And that's not a behavior pattern I want to implement and transfer to my son, because being in the military, for one, you have to deal with a diverse group of people, and your ability to be able to be a leader is dependent upon how well you can understand people's various belief systems. We have multiple religions, we have multiple ways of eating, ways of doing things, and to say that everybody
Yes, sis, because like I was saying earlier in the program, and I'm gonna say it again for the people that's coming in. As long as you don't go to that judge and look that man in the face and get some more charges on him, you're forever in the cult. Because the minute he comes out, if he comes out, well, he will come out, but we just don't know when. And if he get more people and more people get damaged and harmed and hurt, you didn't stop it. So you really need to go, hey, Tabitha, this is what we went through. This is what happened. This is what we seen. This is what we heard. This is what we participated in. This is what this man had us doing. Like I said, I don't know if they spoke to Tabitha or not. But as long as you don't, you cannot break the chain and keep things where you're not going to tell it all. Because you couldn't just stop y'all from thinking, no, what did you do? What did you see? Is at the point where now you have to save up. Your job is now to save others. Your job is not to talk about cults. We do that enough. We do that on a daily basis. Your job coming from the cult means you have to now save others. Yeah, I said that on the last interview too. Hey Mo, so long as you and whomever else that was in that cult and y'all still know things that nobody else know but y'all, you're still in the cult. Long as y'all don't do what y'all got to do to keep Nature Boy behind bars, you're still in the cult. You may not be physically there, but long as he know that certain things you ain't gonna say, you're still protecting him without knowing that you're still protecting him. Yeah, you telling us what happens in a cult. You're telling us your experiences, and we really appreciate it. But we sort of kind of know the experiences that people go through in a cult. But I'm glad you're speaking out. But you need to speak where it counts. Where it counts. See, I understand people want the interview or whatever. You know, I can't knock nobody how they do stuff. How they do stuff is how they do stuff. I would never, or I try to make it my business never to commentate on how somebody run their channel or how they do their questions. My job is to take what they give me and now I speak on it. So I'm not gonna talk about what somebody should have said or what they should have did. No, they gave it to you, and now we speak upon it. And I would have, I'd have been like, again, then that she gave us this interview. I'm like, no, I get what you're saying, but but what you saying? I get what y'all saying, but what is y'all saying? Y'all owe Ja a public apology. If he could sit back and see himself kneeling down, calling him chief, and all that other stuff in public, you owe him a public apology. So he can see that too. He needs to hear whenever he comes across a video, because from the time that baby was born, from the time y'all left, that boy has been in public. So now you owe him a public apology. That's how you get rid of them old bones. And now you're going to feel so fresh and so free. But, I guess when they get to that point, they would get to that point. Well, like I said, when he did the interview with Mac, to certain things I said already, so I'm not going to just keep stopping it. I'm going to let you guys hear it. But I just wanted to say that part. Because I hear you. I hear you. But the wrong is that you need to tell it to another set of ears. Like the district attorney, like the popo. That man should have nothing but charges all on him, down to the child abuse. Why? Because not under you guys, but under him. He was the cult leader. He should have so many charges thrown at his ass. He don't know which way is up. He should be worrying about so much. That man should be worrying about so much right now. But let's go.
He must follow one thing. It's just ridiculous.
I completely agree, and it's all part of
Hey,
the.
Miss Kiara
It's all a
Goddess.
part of the package. The
Welcome,
package,
sweetie.
the how to be a cult leader package. So
Welcome.
that's hey, you guys made it through, and you got out, and just still thrilled for y'all. I like I said, I know that this is a period of reawakening for you both, and it ain't easy. It's hard. It's hard, and it's but there's a lot of vulnerability. I'm sure. Like how vulnerable is this process been for you guys
I
personally?
mean, man, at first it was like I felt like, man, I'm forever be known as that dude that was in Carbonation, man. Like even when I go to Atlanta, I be thinking like, man, somebody gonna recognize me, and I have to deal with this for the rest of my life. And that was something that like Kendra said earlier, that made me want to be like, man, let me get off social media. I'm not gonna never say nothing. I'm not never gonna do nothing. And hopefully in 2, 3, 4 years, people will forget that ever happened. But it's never gonna go away. And I feel like that's one of the things we didn't do as much as we tried to promote it in the cult was we wasn't vulnerable. We was lying. We would say things and do things that would be in the best interest of a certain presentation to the people who were watching on social media. Like I said earlier, I'm not out here making millions or manifesting money with my mind or none of that weird stuff to make it seem like I'm just doing amazing. I had to really look at my life and say, bruh, you neglected some things for the last 5 years. You got to deal with it. Don't worry about what your social media presentation is, because regardless, we did a 6-hour interview with you a couple of months ago, and then you got people saying, I don't think they told everything. So it's like, bruh, I can't be concerned with my presentation no more. I don't care, man. The only thing I got to do is tell my story for me. And even if I told you everything I knew, there's gonna be somebody that say I'm lying. Even if I told you the absolute truth, there's somebody gonna think, I deserve. There's people saying y'all deserve to go to jail with nature, boy. They knew what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna people that's gonna be what do you call it? Skeptical. But the vulnerability is not for y'all on social media. The vulnerability is for me, so that I can undo an ingrained pattern of being a liar and somebody that was taking pictures and saying this and doing this so that we could get a certain amount of views, or so that we could validate the cult leader statement, knowing all well that when the camera was off, something else was going on. We wasn't using no cosmic currency. Y'all know what we was using. Scam and fraud. That's what we was using. Them women wasn't happy. So the vulnerability gets easier and easier the more you do it. And the things that's been in my way, one of the largest ones that has been in my way that I'm actively getting over and gotten better with is my social media presentation. So I feel like it's been a challenge, but it's worth it.
Yeah, the vulnerability, it's like all up and through the healing process. Like from the moment that I decided like I'm done with this, I didn't know I didn't know it was a cult at the time. When I decided I was done with it, and I broke down crying for forever. What it felt like, just crying in my mom's arms, and it was just like, I have to finally face who I am outside of this facade of I have the highest knowledge in the world and I'm chosen and all this stuff. Like, okay, what without all of that, like, no, like, what's real? What's real is that you've been abused and you've been mistreated. You've been sleep deprived, because I cannot deny that when I got back to my mother's home, the first thing I did was go to sleep. And I slept for hours, like for a long time. Second thing I did was eat when I wanted to eat. I couldn't deny that I had been through so much mistreatment, and it was like I had to finally be honest with myself with what I valued, and that's my freedom and my peace. And I truly do value my family as well. And so I had to be very honest. Like, the first thing I did, I was like, I need to tell my story. And that's when, we did the interview. And, but that really opened up a lot of vulnerable parts in me, and I still didn't truly understand everything. And so many memories kept coming back. I mean, literally still to this day, I'll have a memory of like, oh wow, like this totally left me until today. Like, now I remember this day or this moment or whatever. And so there's just so many things that, like, the process just constantly makes me dig and see what it is that I need to that I was hiding from or whatever. And me and Aaron we talk to each other all the time, just about things that we feel and stuff like that.
Please, guys, don't forget, if you don't have my YouTube sister Fundy Fee, please go check out Fundy Fee. I am beyond tired, and a lot of this stuff I broke down, but my sister got a way of breaking down stuff too. If you don't have Fundy Fee, please go check my YouTube sister out. She know how I feel about her. Hey, little boss lady. But if y'all don't got my sister Foony Fee, because baby, she go win, she go win, she go win. And y'all know I'm all about supporting my, our little YouTube family. So to me, she's my YouTube family. Please support her, because believe me, she gonna, if she didn't go in, she gonna go in. She is not the play. She not for the play. Pow, pow, pow. Tell him, sister, the foot on neck. That's my YouTube sister. She know how I feel about all of y'all. But I've been rolling with my sister Funi for a long time. I think since she started actually, but I was in the background. So I have much respect for this. I have much respect for this lady right here. But I'm a little tired or whatever. I'm gonna go in, but she go in. So if you don't have her, make sure you check her out. And please don't forget, she also sells nice products and nice things. So go over there. She's going to give you her website. Go check her out. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going to get back to the show. I said what I had to say. Until you set it free, baby, it's going to be stuck with you forever. And then y'all don't know if he get out, that helped him. You guys helped him. Not willingly, but yeah, sort of, kind of, yeah. Hey, my beautiful coffee and wine. Hello, my sweet pea, my sister, my other YouTube sister. Yeah, I know I love me some coffee, and she supports everybody. So she put her link in there, so we don't have a check her out. So I'm gonna finish. We let this play out unless I see something that I got something to say. But remember when he did the interview before, I broke it down more. Go check that video out. Check that out. Little boss lady. Hey, sweet pea. Now let's go.
One of the major things that I went through after leaving social media was just like, dealing with a lot of fear and just like it was like I had a lot of nightmares. I had a lot of just it was it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with.
Sis,
But
sis.
it's like a lot. But one thing
I'm
that I
done.
did was I just really
Oh,
decided to give back to myself and give time to myself, be honest and talk about things that I was going through. Um, you know, I just really I had to get away from, who I was trying to be to for the internet and really get into me. And that I feel like that takes a lot of vulnerability. And it's a constant digging and emotional roller coaster, I feel like. But yeah, I mean, because there's a lot that me and Aaron have been through together and separately within the cult that we talk about, and it's a lot. Like, I think for a lot of people, because of the things that the videos that you see on social media with of the cult, you like, oh, this is laughable or this is funny or this happened, and we laugh about a lot of things
you
too.
gonna need
But
more.
there was a lot of things that is not so funny.
Oh, sis, you gonna need more than that. I can't. Oh my God, I'm so tired. I needed that laugh. You're gonna need more than that, sis. I just gotta get like 12. Girl, you need a factory. You're gonna need the whole factory. If they look at you too hard, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. They got that the thing in their eye and stuff. They look at you. It's a wrap. Ocular herpes. Sorry, YouTube.
Or it's really real. And we have to deal with that. Like, it was the first time that I had processed all of the things that really happened. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Like, that really happened. Like, I really got socked in my face. So I really was, like, it's just like so many things that happened I didn't really process until just being by myself. And that's why I know that everybody that is still involved in the cult, they're running. Like, they are running in the opposite direction of who they really are. And every time they get on the camera, they're trying to convince themselves that they have this top knowledge in the world and everybody should listen to them, when really they have no idea. They have no idea who they really are. If they really took the time, and this is the thing, and I was telling Erin this yesterday. If you want to know, and this is for a message for everybody that is a part of a group or part of Carbonation or part whatever. If you want to test your reality, if you want to test if this group is legit, if this message is legit, then go home, go to sleep, get you a bite to eat, be around your family. If you can't go and be around your family and go to sleep and be by yourself and read books, I mean, come on. You can't even read the books, all the books you want to read. You got to read only the books that this guy is telling you can read. You only can watch the videos that this guy is telling you can watch. No, if you want to know if a group is legit, go outside of that group and talk to ex members, talk to people. Why are you so afraid? Why are you so afraid to talk to people who don't agree with you? Why are you so afraid to talk to people who've left the group? Why are you so afraid to talk to family members? Why? Because they're calling you by what, your name? Go out here and test your reality. If the group is legit, it's going to be legit. If the group is the truth, it shouldn't matter if you over here, if you talk to ex members, why is that so scary? You should be able to people should be able to ask you questions. Why are you running from questions? Because the truth is that that what you're standing on is sand. That group really is no foundation. This is a bad investment, and you're ashamed to walk away because no one wants to pull out of an investment that they've made, knowing
knowing that they losing, knowing that it ain't what they thought it was, because you really can't. The question is, if I really asked you, are you being abused? You can't say no. So the fact that you can't sit up there and say this man is innocent and this man is righteous and he's sinless when you know he's whooped you butt. Like, you just can't sit there and say it. So it's like, come on, come on. If you want to
Not
test it
to miss,
legit, do the work, go back whatever to where, separate yourself from the group. Separate yourself from the group for 2 weeks at least. If the
not to
group is
mention that,
mm-hmm.
not to mention that, but also that your own teachings negate the things that you're currently teaching. Because we already know that your cult leader himself hooked up to the divine universal internet, streaming absolute God bodied knowledge, said himself while his antennas was connected to the constellation
Laughing on
dark
my
ethernet.
dearie.
He said himself with his hand behind his head that if somebody is in jail, they deserve to be there.
Karma.
Even if they didn't do something in this life, they are paying for the karma that they owe from a past life. So with your own astronomical melanin superpower consciousness, you are paying for your karma. So we might as well stop talking about being persecuted. We might as well stop talking about you being maliciously prosecuted. We
uh, 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 Can we talk about what y'all had in plan for July 6th, July 5th, when he was supposed to go into 100%, when you guys was allegedly performing on rituals? What was he talking about? And why did he say, um, if 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 that day don't come, everybody gonna see a bunch of 3, 6, and 9s? Can you get to that? I mean, let's get to the nitty gritty. We already showed that. That's the day Malaya ran out the house, and I'm gonna make that a clip. I'm going to make that a clip or short or something. But let's get about when y'all used to have them bonfires and stuff, and y'all was saying them things in them bonfires. Let's talk about that. We already know how he is. Let's talk about them rituals and things. That's what we want to hear about. When the man started putting that stuff all on his, remember y'all was doing that before. Y'all wasn't, Nature Boy wasn't as crazy as he was, but y'all been putting that stuff on y'all face and all of that stuff with the Indian hat, and we knew y'all wasn't following. Y'all ain't no damn Indians, to my knowledge. You could be, I don't know. We want to hear about them things. Let's talk about that. He said that already. We got that. We will talk about how you guys are getting together to keep him behind bars before he come out and hurt other people. You guys gotta understand. You talk about the drone sisters and stuff, but the drone sisters is keeping up hope. On my Amazon, on my, they're keeping up hope because they know none of you guys stepped up. They're not, they're still with Nature Boy because not just you guys two, but they know nobody stepped up. Nobody else has stepped up and put more charges on Nature Nut. So they're hoping and praying that he comes out because they know that they have nothing else to worry about. Now, if y'all would have got together, the ones that speaking out, speak out all the way. So if y'all really want the drone sisters free, and y'all want Beavis and Butthead, that would be Juju, and the other one, Jax, that would be Beavis and Butthead. If y'all want Beavis and Butthead, to go on home, and the 4 drunk sisters to go on home. Stop, y'all, stop giving them false hope. Y'all giving them hope, not even false hope. Y'all giving them hope because there's nothing else out there. I know exactly, Miss Doubles. Hey, Miss Doubles. All right, now I'm gonna go back to being quiet because my comments, y'all be like, oh, you talk too much. Y'all say not nice things to me. But I still listen to you guys. So let's go.
He might as well stop talking about you being falsely accused. My boy, I'm using y'all teaching. You are paying your karma. Sit down and pay your debt. But the thing about it is, when you're in a cult, there is no reality, there is no truth, there is no logic, there is a constant avoidance from you dealing with your own mess while expecting other people to clean it up for you. And that's just one prime example. But how many times have we seen the cult teach one thing, do another thing, and then justify it for something that makes no sense?
Too many to count, unfortunately. Y'all hit the
And
nail on the head.
I mean that so-called teaching alone, they might as well just shut up and be quiet and just pay their karma. It doesn't make any sense. And when you look at the statement of people joining the cult, I think you might have said it earlier, Tail, but people don't join cults. If we knew we was gonna be servants, if we ask just back to what you were saying, babe. Ask them women if they knew they was gonna be beat, would they have joined? Ask them if they knew they was gonna be sexually exploited on Twitter, would they have joined?
And that's it. If you knew that you would be doing that, would you still have flew to Panama or Mexico, wherever you was going? The truth is, you wouldn't have done.
Hell no. And that's why I'm really looking forward to kind of giving them a gentle reminder with these videos that I'm going to be dropping, because especially in Kayla's case, Afro's case,
Yeah,
she was still at a point where she could tell the cult leader at one time, oh, I don't want to have a child right now. I don't want to be pregnant right now. That's
right.
when you first join, to now where you're doing all these things at the behest of the cult leader, and doing the damage to your body to
Yeah.
please somebody who really has zero regard for you, doesn't even like you, doesn't respect you. You are nothing more than a possession that they just utilize whenever they feel that they need to.
And what's crazy is you really don't know him. You just
At
met him.
all.
You really,
At
you
all.
really
But
don't know him. I had to realize, like, I don't know this man. Like, I had to go on the internet and find out some information, because I'm like, I had to realize I don't know this dude. I trusted everything this dude said, but I just met this dude on the internet.
A very damaged individual who's been given chances his entire life that has led him to damaging multiple people's lives, psychologically, physically, every kind of lead that you can think of, including through food deprivation,
Yeah.
sleep deprivation, like
Yeah.
everything that you can think of to torture a person. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
whipping grown women,
Mm-hmm.
putting your foot on their head, everything
Mm-hmm.
deprived that you can think of. You've subjugated other people, and you have been dishonest with them about your past. This is an individual that spent a lot of time, um, for other people trying to figure out his psychological, what's really going on. And I said back in 2020, when I did my very first audio interview that I never released with BP, one of the members that was with him in Honduras. And I told her even then, I said, this is an individual, BP, that cannot make it in civilized society. I can't believe that when I go back and listen to it, I'm like, whoa, I called it. I said, this person, if they go back into civilized society, they're going to end up in jail.
I don't. I want to add to that because I take it a step further and say that this is a person that can't make it in humanity. Because let's entertain, let's play for a little bit and say that he was somebody that's institutionalized and can't operate in society. Well, that would mean that your more appropriate setting would be something like a prison with other people who are also like incapable of dealing with civilization. Well, we see now you want solitary confinement away from the people who you consider to be the realest people on the planet and the big apes that you was gonna be the alpha over. So it seems to me that you can't exist in society, nor can you exist into an institutionalized area where with other people who can't exist in society. I consider this person somebody who is just incapable of dealing with humans. Period.
I
because
agree.
of an because of an inability to process the feelings of other people. This person's number one concern and only concern is his own self. And with that type of mentality, how could you cooperate? Cooperation requires you to have some capacity to relate to other people and consider their feelings. But I know for a fact, Alihio Nature Boy Bishop cannot do that. So it doesn't matter where he go. Oh, snap! I'm about to use one of their teachers. No matter where he go, he find himself dealing with the same issues. And the reason why he's not going to solve his issues is because he thinks that all of his issues are based in external relationships of people being disloyal to him, rather than understanding that he's somebody that people just don't want to deal with.
The irony of know thyself, divine knowledge of self, all this, and he has no idea. Like he's 12 different people in his head, and it, I don't know. He needs to be properly diagnosed, but he he has no idea. Like looking back on, I thought this was a normal dude for years. I thought like he was a normal guy, but he has no idea who he is. And I'm thinking that he's playing or he's joking or he's doing this, doing like no, he's actually twisted and he's not wired correctly. His brain is not all this stuff is not no. Right. And somebody said and I love myself. Right. The irony of all of
That's
these things, but it
that's
was
the
not.
irony. Yeah, that's the irony of the cult. The irony of the cult is that everything we teach about is the very things that we weren't doing.
Yeah.
Everything we was promoting was the opposite of how we felt about ourselves. I love myself. Lie. No, you don't.
Face yourself. No, you're not. You're not gonna
No,
face
we're
yourself.
not. No, we're not. No, we're not.
Everything was just backwards. Just totally backwards.
And everything we was telling people on the camera what to do was the very things we needed to apply to receive some type of results in our own organization.
Yeah.
1 minute we're saying and it doesn't make any sense because, like you said, it's built on sand. There's no solid foundation to anything we was doing. 1 minute we're saying y'all are just gonna sit there and y'all ain't gonna say nothing. What if this was your son? What if this was your uncle? What if this is your
Mm,
daughter? Next minute, when people are involved, why y'all so interested in this? Y'all need to mind y'all own business. Y'all need to go live y'all life. So it's like, what do you want people to do? Do you have some type of foundation, or are you simply inserting what's relative to you on that day? How can you have an organization whose motto, whose agenda changes every 2 days?
See, I thought you was about to
Smoke
say,
doesn't belong in the smoke doesn't belong in the body. Hey, can y'all go to the store and get me some Black and Mild?
Oh,
Don't
heck
drink
no.
alcohol because don't drink alcohol because it's bad for your system and you don't need alcohol. Hey, can y'all go get me some Hennessy? Hey, you shouldn't eat dairy and cheese because that's puss from a cow. Hey, let's go get these chicken Alfredo and
I'm
these
done. I'm done.
See, I was about to say, this is somebody's son. This could be your son. This could be your brother. Meanwhile, where is y'all sons and y'all brothers? Where are they at? You would not be doing this if this was your actual son. I thought you
Everything,
was gonna hit it. I thought you was gonna
everything,
hit there.
if
I
everything
was
that
like,
happens to you, everything that's happened to you, it's the universe doing to you. Hey y'all, I'm being falsely persecuted by the DA. It's like, which one is it, bruh? Which one is it? And I'm just saying, for y'all own public marketing, if y'all want to market this as a cult, y'all need to get some better strategies, because right now y'all got uh Edgar Bright and Giuliano Diaz as y'all primary public speakers, and y'all can't even get y'all own. The knowledge don't even sound convincing no more.
Baby. What's up, my
oh
boo?
God. I don't
Speaking of which, what do you think about the fact that these guys keep getting arrested for these petty crimes and landing themselves in jail? I want to know what your opinion is.
Delusion. Jax told you what he was doing. In his mind, he wasn't in jail. He was being sat with himself, and he had a death and transformation. Delu- Whenever you see somebody doing exercise and behaviors that don't make no sense, that means that their mind ain't in reality. It's not lining up. Jax thought he was doing something for Jesus. He thought he was going through he thought it was because Saturn was 275 degrees tilted to the left and the light was beaming off of Mars, and that's why he went to jail. And it wasn't jail. As a matter of fact, he's running through his mind. That wasn't jail. He didn't get locked up. Those were the wristbands from Pisces in the 23rd house. He didn't go to jail. See, these people ain't in touch with reality, so their behaviors won't make no sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, it blew my mind to see absolutely appears that they're willingly doing these things to land themselves in jail. I don't know if they're trying, this is their desperation to get close to him, but this really shows how much of a grip, like Aaron, like from a, just like, I guess from a male standpoint, at one point when you were in Carbanation, and you were one of those high, 18 leaders, would you have risked would you have done what they are doing now to get close to him if it was a similar, so do you think the mindset that you had at that time would have you would have been able to fall victim to something like that?
It's hard to say, because the moment he got locked up and the amount of space it allotted me to think about what we were doing, it also created a level of hesitancy from me just carrying out orders as I previously did. When he was out, you didn't need to think, because you could just blame it on him. You could just say, oh well, I'm just taking orders, because that's what the what do you call it? That's what the atmosphere was. If I tell you to do something, you just do it. So you hear that over and over again, you start doing it. So it's like, she told me to do it. She told me to do it. She told me to do it. But when he went to jail and he wasn't able to be talking all day 24/7, I'm like, but that's stupid though. Like, some of the stuff he was asking me to do, I had hours to ponder upon whether or not that was an actually good decision. Prior, it was just do this, do this. Everybody was little pieces to a larger whole. So you do your job. It's like a corporation. If your job is to mop, you just mop. Don't worry about the dude bringing the truck in. You just mop. So when I was in a position where I actually had to think, that's when I started looking at my decisions from a perspective of, would I actually do this? Do I think this is a good decision? And that's when my own logic and reasoning began to activate. And I realized, oh, this Negro is actually stupid. He's not making good decisions, dude. And you can no longer ignore this, because you can't just listen to one of his downloads. You can't look to somebody when you have 6, 7, 8 other people around you. What they say and do, it heavily affects you because we are prone to go with the group. I don't care who you are. You are, as a human, you are influenced by the group. That doesn't mean that you're going to do everything the group does, but the group does have a big impact on your decisions. But when everybody left, it was only me. So there was no group. It was just me sat with my own thoughts. And that's when I eventually got to the point when I realized that not only has this dude been making stupid decisions recently going to jail, I'm looking back at all of the decisions we've made. And I'm like, dang, dude, this dude been stupid the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I
but I was gonna add to that, babe, that there was a lot of times where we were ready to go to jail. Like we thought that it was honorable to go to jail. Especially there in Nicaragua when he had gotten picked up by the police, and we had followed the police down to the where he was going to be held at. We were all trying to get locked up, like even me, and I had just had Jaomi. We were like, lock us up, lock us up. You know, like that was like one of the things in the cult that was considered something like we were being persecuted for our righteousness. You know, people don't understand us, so they're locking us up. Oh, you know, the Christ was mistreated, you know, just all of those things. But we took it as an honor, especially if he would always say that wherever he was, you should want to be there too. So if he was in jail, it's like you should want to be right here with me. You know, even when he was in jail and when he first went to jail this last year, and he was calling us, he was saying, if I'm in jail, we all in jail. You know, so it's like he would try to always keep us on that mind frame to want to be wherever he was at, or make sure that we are mentally, you know, thinking about where he's at all the time. And so they're not thinking, and that, and to go back to something that Aaron said, they're not thinking that they're making their own decisions. Like they're kind of relinquishing that responsibility and giving it to the cult leader. And I think that's also what keeps people in cults and kept me there for a long time and stuff, was that, you know, I'm not doing this. This is he's doing this, you know, and I'm not slapping these people. He's telling me to slap these people. You know, it kind of makes the response, since you're not the one who's doing it, or you're not the leader, or you're not the one that's responsible. Kind of like they have actual studies where they've studied people who've done harm to other people, um, due to like them being told by a person of authority to do harm to those people, and they're just like, well, my authorities told me to do it. You know, that's why I did it, and it makes them feel better about doing it. You know, that is something that can happen. So I do feel like they're not really thinking about how they're messing up their own records. They're messing with their own life. And I think that's something that we really had to deal with coming back to ourselves, was this is our life. Like we can't be playing around with our life dealing with this person that don't care about their life. Like I'm not about to be messing around with my life. You know, a lot of people think that I was running from the law or running from child services, but I was ready at that point to like face all that stuff. Child services was coming, and we was talking to them like we were told not to be afraid of these things. So I didn't think nothing of it. I wasn't afraid to get locked up. That was like an honor. But thinking about it now, I would never want to be in jail. And all of these people, they don't really realize what it's like to be in jail. You see, he's trying to fight to get out. You know, I don't know why they're thinking this is a good idea, or why they think that it would be something, you know, good to do to break the law, you know, by flying in contraband and all that. Like, that's crazy. But they don't have to be responsible, especially as a woman in the group. You don't control the finances, you don't control really anything. So it's just like, oh, I'm just being a woman that's submissive to her man. I'm not doing it, he's doing it, and I'm just doing what he's telling me to do. You know, it sounds crazy, but
No, that sheds a lot. That sheds so much light. That's why I asked that question, because it is so it's this kind of blows my mind still a little, because I don't listen to Juju a lot, but I have caught a few of his lives where he specifically stated how, being from Chicago, I don't know if he's from the south side or the west side, but both sides are rough. And he has stated how, I had to get away from the gang life because that's leads to, two, three places, in the jail cell, dead, or, wherever the third place is. But here he finds himself in a cult, and he's catching these petty charges that are adding up, stacking up over time. And you're supposed to be spiritual. And so kind of speaks to Aaron's point, where you get to a point where you're just kind of like, okay, well, I'm doing this because the cult leader, so I don't have to really face the consequences of my own personal actions, because I'm just doing this because this is what I think the cult leader wants me to do. And they're gonna
I,
be in for a rude awakening. Like,
I
it's
wanted to add 2 points to the current discussion we're talking about, because I think it's very important. Um, when it comes to authority and unquestioning execution of what you're told, when we look at it, that's not really that outrageous. When we think about the adults in our life, especially if you're from the South like me, you do what your grandma tell you to do. You do what older people tell you to do. You go to the military. You follow your orders, soldier. You go to church. You do what the Bible tell you to do. You understand what I'm saying? So on one hand, looking at it from, you know, carbonation code angle, you might be like, how can somebody just follow the orders of somebody? Shoot, that transfers over from a child that doesn't have a well-developed sense of their own decision making, but rather they have lived their life looking to some form of an authority figure, whether it be mama, daddy, grandpa, uncle, auntie, teacher, police officer, sergeant, commander. In some way, shape, or form, most of us have been subject to an authority figure, and we have received rewards and punishment depending upon our ability to do what somebody else tells us to do. Now, lo and behold, we never think that 20, 30 years from now, that could end up leading us into a cult in some type of way. Second, when it comes to taking orders and going to jail, one, you don't think that this dude is just some dude. You really believe that this dude is some type of divine entity. So you think you're receiving some messages from an authority figure that is divinely ordained. And you kind of want it to be him because it's a black guy. Remember, he always used to suggest to us that we're black and we don't have a Messiah. You know, white people have a Messiah, Asian people have Buddha, Muslim people have Muhammad, but who do we have? So he plays on the facts of us being left out, because ain't that how most black people feel? We feel left out. They don't give us no school. They don't give us this. We don't have no gym. We don't have this. So that was also a factor. Additionally, just like a child, just like anything, the more you get away with something, the less likely you are to consider that you're gonna get caught. We go to jail in Mexico. I mean, we get involved with the police in Mexico. That didn't lead to nothing. So we get a little confident. We run into issues in Nicaragua. He gets out of jail in 3 weeks. Oh, it done gas his head up now. We go to Hawaii. We get locked up. They slap us on the wrist, let us out in 5 days. Oh, look at us, y'all. It's just gassing us up, gassing him up. They can't touch me, just like R. Kelly. Y'all should have did it 30 years ago. If y'all was gonna get me, y'all should have got me 30 years ago. The more somebody does something, and the longer it takes for them to get punished, the more they actually feel powerful getting away with doing it. So Nature Boy was a result of not being thoroughly punished for the things he was doing in plain view. And that's another reason I don't feel sorry for him. You got a slap on the wrist in Mexico. You got a slap on the wrist in Nicaragua. You got a slap on the wrist in Hawaii. You got a slap on the wrist in Puerto Rico. But instead of you taking the warning sign like a smart person and say, you know what, let me stop playing before I really get slammed. It gassed him up and he thought he was Captain Untouchable. Now that it's been extended beyond the level that he thought it was going to go, now he wants somebody to come to his rescue. But nobody's coming to your rescue because you had warning after warning after warning after warning to conduct yourself in a different manner. But rather than changing your ways, you escalated the abuse to the point where you was putting blatant abuse on display on camera and act like nobody was going to do nothing about it.
And completely manifested himself to jail. It's unbelievable that this man taught, but it's believable that he taught for so many years how, your voice is your creation. And he just concocted the most delicious meal for his own self that resulted in him being in a cauldron of darkness right now. And he is exactly where he deserves to be. And I don't understand. There's a lot of people out there. You can have your opinion. Everybody's going to have an opinion, and not everybody's going to agree on, what he's facing and what he's being accused of and this and that. But let's not sit up here and act like this man is a freaking saint. And I just have to put it out there. After what we all have witnessed over all of these years, it does sicken me to see people try to defend, his actions, where you can have an opinion, but don't sit up here and try to act like this man this is not a good analogy, but this is literally what Black folks did at one time. You sit up here and act like he's OJ Simpson. I'm not even going to say R. Kelly, because that really speaks for itself, but Nature Boy manifested himself to jail. And I can make videos, I can make so many different variations of videos and throw them together to show all of the different ways that his own words manifested himself to jail. And he's going to do time. And I think people really need to come to that understanding that he's going to do some time for something.
Yeah, I want to add one thing, because what you said, what I felt is there was so many people that was supportive when we got out of the cult and stuff like that. But what I did see and what I was aware of is how people were I don't know if this is just a Black people thing or if I think it's just a people thing, where there's just some of us who tend to blame the victims of the situation. Well, why she get in the car? Well, why was she over there? Well, why did you go over? You knew what you was doing. There's so many people that, instead of paying attention to how abusive the predator is, or just the fact that the predator was doing what he was doing at all, it's like, let's go ahead and let's shine the light on the victim of the situation, because that allows us not to really face the fact that there's somebody like this in our community. There's somebody like this. Sometimes it happens in people's families, where people are preyed upon in their family, and then they're not believed, or they're not taken seriously because people don't want to face that this person is a predator in their family. It doesn't create a safe environment for people who are victimized. And I just don't agree with how people will. I don't care about a victim's past, or about any decisions that they might have made. If they have been victimized, if something has happened to them, it doesn't matter. Like, there's people who are trafficked every day, and you could say that they want to do what they're doing, but they're in a cult like setting. They're not choosing. They just don't have a way out, or they don't know a way out, and they're still victims, of abuse, of manipulation, of, people who are literally preying on their weaknesses or their vulnerabilities. And we all have vulnerabilities. Every single human has vulnerabilities. And I think that instead of
looking at those vulnerabilities, sometimes we do like to focus on what we don't like about the victim or the victim's weaknesses. But the truth is, unless it happens to you or somebody close to you, you know, you don't really realize that, you know, it's not the victim's fault, you know. And we have to give the victims or people who have been victimized a safe place to express themselves.
I completely agree with you, Kendra. And this is one of the reasons why, you know, even though I watch the girls, the current quote unquote wives that are still there, go on their, you know, go on their rampage, go on their little blame game tour. And even though they, you know, they try to expose me, and it's okay, because when you have nothing to hide, you cannot be exposed. So I watched that happen, and I felt such sorrow for them, and I still feel pity for these ladies, because they are not only wasting valuable,
Yes, I'm
they're
so
wasting, not
tell
it's not even
Nicole I've been
time, it's
mentioning
not even the years, it's the
hello. My
energy
name
that
is
they are
hello, Miss
giving
Cloud.
to
Hey, Flexible.
darkness and
Hey,
chaos
Submissive.
and
How you guys
violence and
doing?
blasphemy and all of this stuff that they're lending their energy to right now. It is like literally physically manifesting on them. I mean, every time you look at them, you know, when they've gone live recently, they look completely worn out, skinny,
Skinny.
tired,
Yes.
stressed.
Yes.
These are the things that will come out. This is energetic, this is spiritual, and this has always been a spiritual battle, a spiritual warfare. You know, people always, you know, they want to discount this and discount astrology, and just, you guys, as from taken from somebody who studies psychology for the great, you know, my from my collegiate experience, I can guarantee you guys that there are aspects of astrology and psychology that coincide and go hand in hand. Where do you guys think they do FBI profiles? Where do you think they get that from, you guys? Where do you think that they're able to profile a killer? They have intelligence. They have entire departments set up to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and develop a character assessment of an individual using everything at their disposal. So they use science. So my point with that is to, let's not discount everything that just because you don't agree with it, and let's also really truly understand that. And I want to reiterate this for my audience, at least, that no one willingly joins a cult. No one, no person. Um, and we really need to understand the psyche behind, you know, just even some of the general viewpoints behind what makes a cult leader a cult leader. Don't matter if it's Ray from around the way that got some spiritual awakening and decided to start leading a band of followers, and, you know, telling them everything that he knows, and you know, giving them orders and telling them what to do, and developing a cult like following. A cult is a cult is a cult. It doesn't matter who the person is. It matters what they're doing, how they're impacting people's lives in a negative way. It matters the damage that they're doing. It matters. All of it matters. And so people sometimes also try to discredit the fact that Eligio is a cult leader. That is what he is. In addition to multiple other titles that he carries, such as definitely you know, I'm not going to diagnose him, but he did diagnose himself. He did at least say that he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder as a child. So we can at least say that he has that. And that's, I think, putting it lightly. I definitely going on with him psychologically. The fact that he's been able to literally kind of mimic, I think, some of the therapists that he has talked to in his lifetime. He spent a lot of time in an institution. He was taken advantage of by a woman after getting out of the institution at 19 by, you know, someone who worked there. So he's been manipulating for a long time, and he's been able to master this. this type of control over people, using his. Aaron, I want to ask you about this. Did you ever feel that Nature Boy ever tried to physically intimidate you? Even with your military training, did you ever feel like physically intimidated him when you were in the crux of your cult programming?
Yeah, I remember one time when we was in Mexico, I told him I had thought about fighting him one time. And then he went upstairs and put some baby oil on and came back down with some jogging pants on, talking about let's go. And I was like, man, I don't want to fight you, man. I ain't even think it was worth it. And also, there's also the dynamic of not knowing, you know what I'm saying, regardless of how good you can fight, I don't know what these other dudes gonna do. I got dudes talking about they'll die for it. You know what I'm saying? I'll die for Chief. I'll die for my Messiah. So I know they don't have no issue whooping my ass. So that factor was always present.
I feel like he constantly threw his size around, and I feel like he liked to keep especially guys around that were that couldn't challenge him, that he didn't feel could challenge him physically. I know with your military training, you never know what to expect. You guys go through a lot when it comes to the PT. So I'm almost certain that unbeknownst to him, I'm sure you would have gave him a run for his money. But to put on baby oil, like, come on, like you're already like girls do that. Vaseline and take off the earrings, I ain't never heard of a man doing that. That's crazy as hell.
I think for the most part, nobody don't want to get jumped after you seen somebody get jumped. After you've been on the delivering end of jumping somebody, you don't want to be on the receiving end of the same thing. So I know for a fact for the women and the men that element helps keep people in check, because you know at any moment it could escalate to the point where you getting beat up. And I don't know if the cult leader, because it's strange, because on one hand the cult leader act like, he's this hardcore guy that used to fight all the time when he was younger and when he was in prison, and that he was ready to die and that the crackers should come and hang him. But when the SWAT team came with the guns, you could talk about they breaking down the door. So I don't know if the cult leader would have actually engaged in any physical activity with anybody, but was just using his size alone as a form of psychological intimidation, in conjunction with knowing that if any of the other guys attempted to attack him physically, that he had 6, 7, 8 dudes that would likely come to his defense before he even had to display any type of combative skills. So it was hard to say. I mean, the co-leader literally was telling us that he was the alpha, and that no matter where he go, he gonna dominate and he gonna run the environment. But then now, when you're put in the setting to display these alpha characteristics, you're demanding that you be put in solitary confinement. You're complaining about being stabbed in the hand by fellow prisoners. I'm trying to understand, what is real here? Are you a hardcore gangster that's ready to die and don't care about white supremacy? Or are you this person who's actually afraid, and in order to hide that fear, you have to inflate yourself in every way possible? So I don't know. I don't know if he actually have exercised any type of combative skills if it came down to that.
Yeah,
He would only really put his hands on women.
Yep.
He slapped some guys. Well, he slapped some guys sometimes.
Loyal,
but
Juju,
yeah,
Solar.
and those are the only type of guys too that he would like challenge.
Yeah,
like, to a
like make them feel smaller than I guess than they are. He would like, like I remember him getting all up in Pice's face once, and I'm like, Pice is a little kid, but
Wow.
yeah, he wouldn't do that to like some of the bigger guys, I guess you could say. And he only put his hands on the women for the most part. Like as big as he is, and that is just crazy.
It is crazy, and I know that there's someone in the comment that is asking a question that I feel is disrespectful, because you haven't listened to their interviews, you haven't listened to their story, you don't really know the history of carbonation. If you're going to continue asking that question, Sweet Talk Butterfly, it doesn't matter who you worked with and what you're used to in your experience. I will say this: it's very important to vet whoever you decide to work with when it comes to therapy and counseling and group therapy and all of that. Vet the person. Just because someone has knowledge of a field does not make them a healer. Some people join professions just to get paid. Some people join them for selfish and nefarious reasons. If you're truly wanting to help people to understand why, the why, the where, what, whens, and whys of why, how they found themselves in a particular situation, that's not the way to go about it, Sweet Talk Butterfly. You know damn well that Carbonation did not start out as a cult. It started out as a band of, three dudes and Nature Boy going off into the jungle to live in nature.
You're absolutely incorrect. You're absolutely incorrect. It started out as a cult. They just didn't know that. They just did not know that. It's about that time of the day to put Blanche in the closet. Put Blanche in the closet. I'm trying to munch. I'm like, Lord, she better not make me choke on my food. Blanche get ready to make me choke on my food. No, she's absolutely incorrect. If you watch, you think Nature Boy went there and then lost control? He planned this for a very long time. So we're not going to even put that in people's head. No, we know damn well. If you check the videos before he left, if you check the videos when he was just doing him, if you look at the videos, he was already advertising himself. It started off with a man. He was already advertising himself. He was already saying how good he looked. He was already doing that in the early videos. There is no cult. Even if you know of the cult, even if you don't know of the cult, there is no cult that, it didn't start off as a cult. Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. And you have to tell them the truth. He plotted. The whole plot was to get a cult. Why do you think the first set of people left? Go ahead, go, Carter. Go. Come on. Go ahead. Go. There you go. Why do you think the first set of people left? The first set of people left because it was a cult. And it was, at that point, Nature Boy needed pictures. He needed to wheel people in. Like, yeah, look at us. Look at us. Look at us. We all out here doing this. So he needed a bunch of people there in pictures. So other people can look at the brochure, quote unquote, and get hooked and say, hey, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to go. Yeah, he already used the baby. So we're not going to say that. If you go back to his video, I got the ground. Where Nicole at? Remember the ground? Where Nicole? Nicole with the grinding shoes. He had the shoes, everything. He already was getting the audience, telling them a bunch of lies and stuff. But he knew in the beginning, to make it look like he was so important, he was taking anybody at that point in time. Once the older people knew how he was getting down, they left. He knew that he was going to end up with the young ones. But he had to get all of them there so you can take these pictures and y'all can think how beautiful life is in on the islands. Like this the new move, man. We got our own land, which land do not belong to y'all. It belongs to the people on the island. You know, we got the fruits and the trees, which did not belong to you guys. It belongs to the person that owns the land. Only time the fruit belongs to you is once it falls. Once you go up there and pick it, you can get in trouble. Yeah, nah, not the mats, the shoes, Black, the shoes. Not the shoes, girl, the shoes. You had to go out in the shoes. Then he weeded all, because he didn't want the bad, exactly. So I just want to correct that. You know damn well it is. Oh yes, it always started out as a coat. They just didn't know. You probably didn't know. Nature Boy had dreams of controlling people a long time because Nature Boy have always controlled people. He already had that in his mind. So of course they're not gonna know it's a cult because they're gonna see all the pictures that he put up. If you notice, they left. So of course it was a cult. He wanted people to follow his rules and do this, but he didn't really care if they did or if they didn't. He just wanted a bunch of people there so he could sell his product, which is his coat. He wanted to sell that product. Remember, before the product is made, you have to think about it. You have to think about what you want in that product. So it was already thought about. Now you have to sell it. Okay? So we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. You know, and if they're going to be bringing awareness out, you got to let them know, hey, be aware of all these fake brochures of people, all these spiritual people and all these kundalini people and all this other stuff. Be aware of all that stuff that sounds good. It's a cult. It's a cult. So it didn't start. Yeah, yes, it did. Now let's go. I'm going to go back to being quiet while Blanchy Pooh is in the closet.
What developed from that is something that none of them could have probably ever imagined. And this is why it's so important for them to tell their stories and to be able to have a voice, to be able to have a safe place to express their experiences with. There has to be a measure of compassion and understanding there. Have your opinion, but please know that there's always a time and a place to express it. And if you're going to express it, please do so in a respectful manner. They do not have to be sitting up here talking to you and us about anything. They are doing this on their own free will. They are not getting anything in return for doing so, but hopefully this is helping in their healing process. So please show some respect. If you don't have it, then don't comment. Stay in the bushes, please, and thank you, because I will block you. Like Sweet Talk, Black got blocked. So
I wanted to add something real quick because this happens a lot to me and Kendra. Sometimes we'll be in the bathroom and a thought will just hit us, or we'll be doing something unrelated to studying cults and it just hit us. And as you're talking, something hit me because I'm like, I often get questions from people and it's like, I want to know the answers too. But one of the questions that hit me was, why did I do the things I did and why did I stay so long? And I think about projection. And when we think about somebody projecting onto you, we often think that that means that they're dealing with some type of unresolved trauma and then they're blaming you for it. But also, when it comes to projection, sometimes we can project onto people who we want them to do. And being in the military, going through basic training, a lot of things happened to me that initially I thought it was uh, mean. I thought it was rude. But as the training continues, for those of you who have been through basic training, whether it be, in the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, whatsoever, at the end of the program, you actually start to appreciate and value your drill sergeant for being hard on you and for making you tough and for making you stronger. So and like I said before, I'm not fully understanding what happened to me. It's a process. It's going to take years. But I do think that one of the reasons why I stayed there that long and why I took so many orders without using my critical thinking skills is because I projected onto Eligio Bishop, I projected onto Nature Boy this authority figure that was being tough on me, only to lead me to a place where I would find myself appreciative of the things that I was not understanding of at the time. But unfortunately, that was not the case with Eligio Bishop. That was the case in basic training. But this guy turned out to not be uh, a Sifu or a master or
Or nothing.
anything of that nature, but
Or
he turned
nothing.
out to actually be a cult leader, something that would have never subjected myself to had I known and been aware of the identifying markers of a cult leader. And so I just wanted to share that to um, help clarify, because I know from the outside.
See, that's why I said, and I'm glad that I know your name is Aaron, but I still like the name True, just because I like the name True. But you are Aaron, and that's why I said what I said. You can't say it did not start out as being a cult. Yes, it did. They just did not know. It always was a cult. They didn't know. You can't say, oh, because in that case, he could say, well, it wasn't a cult. Then it turned out to be a cult. No, he joined the cult. That's not being disrespectful. It is what it is, what it is. I'm not blaming him, but I'm just saying it was a cult. Eligio was always a cult. Now that part is true about the military, but I was in the army myself. Ain't no ninja and baby or you gonna have me following. Okay? Okay? Unless there's a reason. Yeah, that part is true. But you know that. You know that. And even with them too. When you go to register and sign up, I remember they used to have that. I don't see it too much often, but back in the days, they had a recruitment office like all over. It was always recruitment offices. And yeah, they show you what, oh, this could be the life, and you're gonna get education. We're gonna pay for your college. We're gonna do this, and we're gonna do that if you serve the country. And they got there like, what the fuck? But either or, you still seen army shows, so you still knew what you sort of kind of was getting yourself into. But with this situation, he showed them like the Garden of Eden. You know, it's so beautiful. Learn yourself. Be more in tune with nature. That is cult-like thinking in itself. You in nature regardless. You in nature regardless. There's no part of this earth that's not nature. No part. And you saying, hey, you get the vitamin D, you're going to get the vitamin D regardless. And if you're not getting vitamin D, you survived all this time. You either go on a trip, get your vitamin D, or eat your stuff with vitamin D in it, or you get some vitamin D pills. But people have survived cold climates forever. Melanated people. Melanated people have survived cold climates forever since we've been here. That's why we here. That's why we able to talk, because our forefathers survived it. If they didn't survive it, we would not be here. So we had to be at the equator just to live. Then how are we here? How is whoever's living, how are they here if people didn't survive certain things before time? So you should have, I mean, the respect, I get all that, but T, you gotta like be like, yeah, we all. She could probably speak for herself. She could say, she could say, we all didn't think it was. Well, we didn't think it was a cult. I didn't think it was a cult neither, and turned into a cult. But people who, study cults, and especially, I told you, you got the cults that's a group, and you also got the one person cult. One person cult means you're going through the same thing the group people will go to go through, but it's just you. When you are a narcissistic person, you are in a single cult. That's also considered a cult. You go through the same exact things, and they also make you do things you ain't got no business doing because you don't want to stay up all night. You don't want to hear their mouth all night. Everything, the whole process. It's a lot of people in single cult. They are brainwashed too, but we're not going to say it didn't. Yes, it did. If you bet get oh this cat. Oh,
Outside looking in, and to those who are unfamiliar with undue influence and the bite model, how ridiculous it looks for some of the things um, for us to have been doing and saying at the time. But I just had that thought in the middle of you sharing your thoughts.
No, I appreciate that. I just really try to have a space where you guys have taken a lot of you guys have taken a lot of, even if you weren't aware of it. With every video posted, people have had years to express their disbelief, disappointment, contempt at what they were seeing on the screens for various reasons. And so, I do feel that now that you guys are out of the cult, there still deserves a level of respect there when it comes to you guys, going through your healing process, because it's hard enough. It's hard enough coming to terms with the bullshit that you saw and were sometimes uh, order to partake in. And there's accountability there. If there was no level of accountability there, it would be different. But you guys have a measure of accountability that uh, it should be expected. So it's not like there's a reward there for it, but there's definitely there's a personal level of satisfaction that I'm hoping that you guys are feeling and processing as you go through this, because it shouldn't be all bad when you're healing. It's to get to a place where you're free, and not putting yourselves in jail along with the cult leader for the next few years. I don't think that's fair to any of the parties involved, including anybody who hasn't at this point in the game. You're free, and you're still out here doing nefarious acts, like Juju and Jax and the girls flying the drone. What did you guys think about the drone incident? Like, what were your thoughts when you heard about it? Did you hear about that? And what do you think about that?
I mean, that just was, I was actually shocked by that. Um, I'm usually it's like nothing else would shock me, from this cult. And I know you were saying, you were addressing, what's her name in the chat, who were saying that, people joined willingly and stuff like that. I The whole reason, I just want to say this before I go talk about that. The reason why I also decided to come back and speak about my experience is because I know that there's a lot of people who get out of cults that literally have nobody, to talk to about what they've experienced, and they almost think that they're crazy, or that the people that are around them that are talking to them are saying things like what the person in the chat was saying, which is like, oh, you knew what you were doing, you joined, you knew what you were getting yourself into. That is not healthy for somebody coming out of a cult and who is dealing with brainwashing or occult mind control. I suggest, like my husband just referenced the bite model, I suggest that people go, if they don't have any idea of what cults are, or if they think they know, even if you think I suggest you go read Combating Cult Mind Control by Dr. Steve Hassan. He is a cult expert, and he was also recruited into a cult in college back in the 70s. And so there's a lot of information in there that I didn't know, and really helped me understand why people get involved in these cults. People do not join cults, people get recruited into cults. Um, and usually it's off of the strength of, oh, we're over here just doing something to bring peace and harmony to humanity, or we're freeing ourselves, or we're about unity and love. It's usually something general like that, but then next thing you know, you're worshiping someone. It doesn't all happen at once. If somebody approached you and you're like, hey, they're like, hey, come to our group, we worship this guy, and we bow to him and we call him our God, you'd be like, I ain't going. But if they tell you, oh, come on, come to our group, we just talk about bettering humanity and things we can do in the community to help everyone, you're going to more likely be involved. So
Yep.
just just to put that out there. The drone situation, I felt was like, I when my first theory was like, oh, they're all trying to get locked up, like everybody's just trying to get locked up too. And like I said before, that was kind of something that was honorable for us to do, is to you know do what he asked us to do, and whatever the consequences was, it was, well, this is what we have to pay for being righteous. So I don't know why they decided to do that, or what was the whole thing behind that.
I think it was pretty
very
bold.
interesting.
I thought it was is extremely bold, and I thought it was extremely crazy. And it's also a testament to what you just said, that anything to to pledge your allegiance to the cult leader, and to through any means possible, even if it's going to land you in jail or having to do some community service, and then probably not going to end up doing that, and then probably going to land you in some more hot water. I mean, it's just a downward spiral, continual downward spiral for these ladies. And I just hope that they something triggers one day for each of them individually.
I don't think we'll. Well, I'm not going to say that, because I think that the only way we'll know exactly what that drone situation was about is if one of the people who were directly involved, if they leave the cult and then tell us what happened,
Mhm.
because it doesn't make any logical sense from from the outside the cult or inside the cult. Because what would compel you?
Let me correct you. That is absolutely not true. And cults do recruit. You need to listen to some of these college stories. A lot of college stories, these kids in college, they usually go after, they know who they want to pick. And they usually pick a lot of college kids because they're away from home, they don't know nobody, and then the cult leader or whoever who's doing the recruitment, they come in as a buddy, or they come in as a friend. Oh, you need help with your homework? Oh, I got you. And then when you first meet them and they invite you somewhere, you don't know that they are cult members. All you know is these. You said, I said cults recruit. Oh, do recruit. My bad. I get the glasses. You're right. But anyway, let me just finish with that too. So, a lot of times, I'm just saying this in general because she did say cults recruit. I ain't got the glasses, but can you usually you even contact with the cult? You have to. Oh, that's what I was talking. You have to believe. No, no, no. A lot of times, sometimes you don't have the beliefs that they have. That's what I was going to say. They make you think that we're friends, that you're friends. So a lot of times they don't. They sneak the beliefs in on you. Oh, look at the sun. The sun is so beautiful. And oh, you get the vitamin D from it. What if they don't have to have the same beliefs? They'll sneak it on you because they're not telling you it's their belief. They're just saying, oh wow, sun is, oh, you get the vitamin D from the sun. Yes. So they'll trick you into thinking that, this is what I need in my life. Or if you're having any problems, Oh yeah, come on over. We have group discussions and we discuss our problems. We are good people. So you start thinking, no, you don't even have to have common interest. Because I watched a lot of these college stories. Sometimes they was just there minding their business. They was just minding their business. But a lot of times, they know that, you're not from there and you don't have no friends, or you could be an introverted person. If you're introverted, they act like, hey, Marquise. So they'll trick you into having these common interests because they will make you think that they're smart, like they're spiritual, and then you start to believe it too. Yeah, I like sitting in the sun. Yeah, I want to get my vitamin D. Yeah, then they start talking about, especially if you're in college. Oh, look what they did. They took away affirmative action. What? They took away affirmative action? We need to do things ourselves. So they take the things that's going on to will you in. So whatever is going on wherever you at, that's how they will you in. They talk about things that's happening, just like that they asked them getting the loans, that now they have to pay back their loans. They ask the loans forgiven. That'll spark up a conversation too. Oh man, we gotta pay them loans back. See how the government is. They tricked us to getting these loans to make us think that we was gonna be forgiven. See, that's how the government is. They always lying to people. And you're gonna be like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You know why? Because you took out a loan too. So of course what they saying, you can relate to it. So they're gonna bring up. So if you're in an abusive household, they're gonna bring up abusive households or whatever that's going on that people usually talk about, and they stay on you. They stay on you. I seen a lot of videos where a lot of state college kids, I almost joined the cult. Especially if you got kind-hearted people, or if you got people that's going through something, or oh, you need to change your life. Come with us. You'll change your life, and you'll be out of trouble and be more spiritual. Whatever. But like I said, it doesn't start out as beliefs. It start out as in whatever's going on in the world. Gotta pay that back. And yeah, that's right. Yes, ma'am. Even if you go to church, oh, come to my church. I got the best pastor ever. My pastor don't play, girl. Come on. And my church is big. We got a big old church over there. The gospel singers, the choir ain't no joke. Come on. Matter of fact, they could pick you up and bring you back. They'll pick you up from your door. You ain't even got to travel. You like, really? I ain't got to travel? So it's like I said, it's different ways they can catch you. A lot of different ways they can catch you, because that's what manipulators do. They manipulate things. So even if it's not your interest, they're going to manipulate it to become your interest, if you know what I mean. They're going to manipulate it. Like a lot of people, if you notice, why you think a lot of them do music? Because that's a lot where Nature Boy was advertising. Oh, you can do your music. We create music here. We creative. So that's why a lot of them at Carbon Nothing, they all do music, because that bought them into thinking that they was gonna make music. They was gonna sell their music. This is what they thought. That's why majority of them rap and majority of them make their own music. And unfortunately, Nature Nut can sing. So certain things he sung on to make you think, yeah, he could sing. He is about that music. And then you come to find out you in a cult. So that's why I said you gotta stand 10 toes down on you. You gotta stand 10 toes down on you, and always remember, don't join nothing. Don't join nothing. People got friends they see every day. They ain't enjoying nothing. And we still got the same interest. We still do the same thing where we go right on home. Catch you later. See you when I see you. You ain't gotta join people. I'm just speaking in general. They want you to join. No. Get in the habit. No, I don't need to join nothing. Stand on your own. Stand 10 toes down. Don't even put yourself in it. People want to be your friend. Then they want to invite you places with groups. That'll be a no. That'll be a no for me. I can see we gonna meet at the theater or movies at a party or something. You talking about groups and going away far beyond there and stuff. No, ma'am. No, sir. But let's go.
To give instructions on a recorded phone. It doesn't make any sense. And then after you get a bond for this charge, you violate the terms of the bond that you wanted less than 24 hours later. The only thing we can come up with at this point is theories, but the truth of that situation will only be revealed by the people who were directly involved when they come to a clear mindset. So when I first heard it, I'm thinking that this person has possibly lost the hope that they originally had been relying on, and now they need to implement a kamikaze move and basically just self-destruct everybody who's left. Because Porsche, for those of you who don't know, already owes $12,000 to the 2993 Arbor Chase address for unpaid rent, which the cult leader relinquished his responsibility for and placed it upon her, in which she took upon, of course, underneath the influence. So
she further is what she's doing is she's further her dependence upon him now has further solidified for her, because this girl is not only ruining her credit, any chance her credit is ruined. So she really, if there's she, and they all have the chance at independence. Nobody is counted out in these type of situations. You never want to count anyone out, but it is sad to see
Try and get off the Wi-Fi.
now that have been impacted by his direct actions. They're having all these further negative impacts. So chicken's gonna still have yet to come home to roost, but when it happens, this will be interesting. The grand finale.
Yeah. The only theory I have right now, based upon that situation, is that they've adopted the collective mentality of, if one of us is going down, we're all going down. That's what I think. Is that accurate? I don't know.
That leads me to a question that a lot of people were asking in the chat. Kendra, could you speak to this? Did you guys truly make a death pact in the cult, like the girls? I know you guys did a live one time all together, I think when you were still in Puerto Rico. Was that real? And do you think that they would take something like that seriously, just from just being around them, from what you know of their personalities? How serious do you think they would take something like that?
Oh, 1 second. I'm going to answer that, but Joe needs my help.
Oh, take your time. Take your time. But yeah, you guys, thanks for asking that question in the chat. I don't like to think about that, because obviously we don't want any additional loss of life to come out of this cult. And I saw that Kendra had addressed Amar in the chat. Who would have known that this will be the end for him, the outcome for him? It's just devastating to his family. Of course, and I would imagine for them, their initial devastation was him joining this group in the first place at such a young age. I believe he was 17 when he first joined. Aaron, did you ever have any thoughts on why Eligio allowed Amar to join initially in the first place? Did anyone ever kind of question that amongst themselves or just yourself even?
I mean, like I said, I can only come up with theories. Just because I was there, it doesn't mean that I know the absolute truth about everything that was going through the minds of everybody
Yeah, I
that
just
was
want to
there.
know what you think and what your
Yeah.
thoughts were on it when he joined and his knowing his age and like what did you feel about it and how did you feel about
They all was
Eligio
young.
kind of letting somebody so young into
They
that group
all was young.
setting and
What,
having that
the
much
only,
the control that he allowed him to have?
the only reason I made that introductory statement is because I despise one thing I despised about the cult is our act as if we knew everything. So I just wanted people to know that I don't know everything. So not just for the people, but for myself as well. But to speak on Amar, I feel like the reason um, the cult leader brought anybody in was to further feed his need to inflate himself as this spiritual teacher and this mastermind. So the more people that came, the more it fed this illusion that he was some spiritual teacher that people were traveling far and wide to come and be taught by. Also, he played off the fact that Amar was Indian. So he further fueled his ego with, look at me, y'all. I got an Indian person. Indian people already have their gurus. So I must be great because this Indian guy is listening to a black guy. He did that with white people as well. Also, Amar had technological skills. He was really good on the computer. He was really good with graphics and editing. And at that time, Nature Boy's primary editor, who was Rambo, or excuse me, Jose, had left. And so Nature Boy would love to have somebody with some type of skills that he could use at his disposal. So I feel like, and also he was young, which means impressionable. So those three attributes of Omar made him a desirable candidate, I believe, to be a part of Nature Boy's agenda of making himself be this messiah, guru, spiritual teacher.
I appreciate that perspective. I
No, no, and no. First of all, I want to say, listen, guys, we know for a fact everybody don't know everything. How about all of y'all get together and tell what you know? You still know some things. Let's let you don't have to tell us, but you need to go tell somebody to keep that monster locked up. He is still destroying lives while he's locked up. The drone sisters caught some traction when they put that information out. They caught some traction. You still got people sending money to this man, and then referring to Janae. You may not been in that room, but you was in that house, and nobody has yet to explain what happened before, during, and after. I'm not speaking upon in the room. You wasn't in the room, but you do know who was in that room. Who was in the room? These things You do know. When she came out of that room, what happened? Was she happy? Was she sad? Was she confused? Was she that messed up in the head? That's why she snuck out. That's why I say, if he walks, we don't know nothing. That'll be because you guys ain't telling the absolute truth. We know the cults. Y'all needed to learn about that. A lot of us know about cults already. We trying to we need this ninja. We thought about you guys when we was trying to save you guys. This is going on. This is what he's doing. This is what he's doing. Now is y'all turn to finish it. Finish it. But again, I don't know what y'all may have told. We could be just speaking out of hand. Maybe y'all did say, hey, Tabitha, ABCEFG. We don't know. And maybe you have to watch what you say. So I'm not going to go too far into you guys because I don't know what you guys are doing behind the scenes. You might not be doing nothing. You might be doing a lot of something. We don't know. So I don't want to speak out of turn. Hey, Miss Lee, y'all. But that beautiful baby, even though she had 2 more weeks to go, but it's okay. She came, wrong season, but she's so beautiful. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club with that beautiful baby girl. Congratulations to you and your family. You know, uh-huh. That's what I'm saying, Marquise. That's why them 4 drones and Beavis and Butthead, the drone sisters, and Beavis and Butthead is able to continue to do what they're doing because Kendra know what happened to her. She know what happened to her. All of them know what happened to the women there. All of them seen how Nature Boy did women there. None of that's a secret. Some of them things you do know. You do know how he handled women. You do know if when he said it, they had to give it to him. No questions asked. Y'all do know if he used the method of coercion because they are scared. If they don't do it, this is what's going to happen to me. Let that be known. If the ladies did not lay down with nature nut, it was going to be some repercussions. That's the truth that we need to hear. Even if you don't get all into it, and if you did say it already, I didn't hear it. But let it be known there are repercussions if the women did not do what Nature Nut told them to do. So yes, a lot of them was coerced to do it whenever he wanted it and to whomever he wanted to do it with. Even though what you call it is a man, even though Pisces is a man, Pisces didn't ask for that man to pull his thing out and beat it on his face. He didn't ask for that, but he had to do it because he knew it was going to be repercussions if he didn't do it. Pisces has a case too. Pisces also was humiliated, degraded, had that man quote unquote allegedly semen on his face. He didn't give permission for that. Nature Boy did a lot of stuff without permission and thought that he could do what he wanted to do. He could have went home. Who could have went home? Not up in the mountains. A Nature Boy picked certain places for certain reasons. You just ain't running away, Marquise. Remember, he had them up on top of mountains. They was running where? Ain't no street sign. Ain't no street signs. Ain't no roads. Ain't no lights. Where you running to? In the country, they don't even speak your language. He picked certain places for a reason. No, you ain't running home. Sound good in Atlanta, yeah. But other places, even if you know the country, he got you way up there in the boondocks.
I absolutely agree with you, and obviously, it's a part of the recruiting, the whole process of trying to attract in, other young people, other young ladies that are, could potentially be attracted to Amar at the time. And this is something that he continued to do even still now with Juju. I had a couple of women reach out to me privately just about the same type of kind of tactics going on, where the women are reaching out wanting to talk to Juju, and he's like, well, you got to get the knowledge, and you have to basically have intercourse with my master, with my chief, with the Messiah, in order to really understand the knowledge. So it's just that also speaks to just how much the group.
He said that actually.
Yeah, these are the things he was texting these young ladies. Yes, telling
Now
them
he
that
got
you
me.
can be with me, but
Exactly, Miss Leo.
I'll never. You can never have my seed. You can only have the Messiah seed. And I'm just like, I asked them. I
Wow.
said, can I speak on this? And they didn't. I understood.
He
It's,
will, like, what he will do is he will make, and that's what happened with Kayla.
yeah.
It's like he will make you feel so bad for having someone else's child. Like, yeah, it's something that he does. What happened? Um, yeah. So that's just that. But I didn't know that they were now like saying that
Yeah,
upon recruitment. Like, hey,
just
so now you
delusional.
can't come over here unless you want to have his child, not mine. Like,
Yes, that's what shocked me. I was like, wow. I mean, he's just okay. So still up to the same old, same old. And so this really speaks to what Aaron says, is that, and I'm trying to be nice a little bit by saying you not fit for civilized society. But Aaron, was just being real. You're not really fit to be amongst the human population. And that's really what it is. I mean, this is why he prophesied for so many years that all the real ninjas are in jail, and that's where he wanted to be, because there were people in this type of setting that he can relate to that also can't function in civilized society without being a menace to society. So just interesting how all of this comes, full circle. Different viewpoints, they all form in the same conclusion.
it's very scary how I don't think that these current.
You forgot Maderi because they didn't know who the pappy was. Remember? Remember, they didn't know who the pappy was, Maderi. Remember, he thought he was the pappy. Now, y'all guys stop asking me these questions. I wasn't there. I'm doing commentary. But Maderi, remember, if maybe you don't, but I'm just going to refresh you because they didn't know who the pappy was. So Nature Boy thought it was his child. That's why. That's why that happened. And then Joy got over. Oh, you remember now? And Joy, because I guess Musa was like his right hand man, he let that happen with Musa. And Pisces, I don't know when it got down to Sunny. I don't know why, but I know that was with that. And Musa, because at that point he was trying to have it to whereas they would be slaves for his kids. So Kendra and Sonny's baby was supposed to be slaves to his kids. That was the voice real ninja moment. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. So that's what that was. So he let some of them have kids so they could mate with his kids and be their slaves. If you remember him saying that. So he had to have some babies being born, you know. And Serenity, he, being that he claimed he was God and he don't believe in doctors. So being that Serenity got knocked up first, because remember, Velvet got knocked up first, but it wasn't from him. Velvet got knocked up first from Omac. So you know that baby was not going to make it to light. That wasn't going to happen. So far as far as getting knocked up, Serenity would be the first one knocked up. So he wanted to prove that his teachings are correct, and you don't need a doctor, you don't need this, you don't need that. It just so happened Velvet got knocked up right afterwards. But that was to show the world he was like, he knew what he was talking about, you know? And then he thought it was going to go the same way with Velvet, but it didn't, you know? And then with Serenity, I don't know why she fell for that bullcrap, because if you remember, she said she went there having some things, some STDs, allegedly. She went there having some stuff. So what made that baby should have been checked out, or had you would have had to take something to make sure the baby don't catch what you had. So I don't know where Serenity mind was at. That's why that baby was so small. Baby Migos at that point in time, Baby Migos was very small and everything else, listening to Nature Nut. I'm glad she got away from that fool to save her baby. Because that baby probably would not have made it still there in Carbonation. The girl sitting up there kept she know it was nothing coming out them damn boobs. She got that her little boob, her little boobies all in that baby mouth. We're like, damn, ain't nothing coming out. You ain't even got no boobs. Take it out the baby. Give the baby some food, please. Go get that Similac. Baby couldn't even eat. And y'all all remember. Yeah, yeah, Madari. Exactly. They might not give it to him because he enjoy it. Yeah. If y'all remember, poor baby. All right, let's get back into this. Don't ask me no more questions for right now. I want to get no. I'm not going through the Nasa part. I'm just doing the interview. If y'all want to see the Nasa part, y'all go right over there and watch it.
Current cult members realize what that does to them. It's like you're playing on these people's self-esteem and who they are. Like, you're telling this young man who hasn't even had a chance to really explore life that he's not worthy of reproducing himself with somebody that he loves. Uh, like he shouldn't have children because he doesn't have the best genetics or whatever. That is like really sick, to tell someone that. And
Very
I
sick.
don't and then to accept that about yourself. Like, I don't think that any current cult member really truly believes like all of this, like all of that so-called knowledge and stuff. I think that they really want to convince themselves that it's true, because everyone, I won't say everyone, but many people want to believe that there is this totalism, this total belief system that will grant you salvation and heaven on earth, or heaven and afterlife or something. A lot of people do want that. And so it is hard, I think, for these current cult members to realize that these teachings, these belief systems are not good. Hold on, Ja. He's about to go in. Okay. Um, it's hard for them to grasp that these teachings and what he's telling them that is right is like, it's not. It's not right. It's actually wrong. And they shouldn't feel that way about themselves, and they shouldn't feel that way about their lives. But because of this, I want that. And then another thing is them believing that they're curing some type of curse, some type of generational curse. They're what they're doing is healing their family and healing their children that they've had. And this is why people leave their children to join this guy, because, oh, I'm gonna be, this is for them. I'm healing them by doing this. They're literally sacrificing their personal freedom, because now you can't have children, you can't have a family, you can't have the life that you want, you can't do the things that you want to do, eat when you want to eat and sleep when you want to sleep, because this guy says they're sacrificing their personal freedom for the hope that they will free, their ancestors, or their save humanity and their generations to come. They think that this is the answer for that. And if that means that they got to take a beating, or a whipping, or that they will just be a servant all of their life, because Giuliano, I mean, that he's accepted that he's going to be a servant for the rest of his life. He's just going to go get whatever the so-called Messiah wants him to get and bring it back. That's it. That's his life purpose, and he's sacrificing his personal freedom in the hopes that this will grant him that salvation, that he'll be accepted into heaven one day.
And this is how powerful programming is. Even when we know better, on an inherent level, on a just a nature versus nurture level, we're still susceptible to someone else's wants and needs being propagated through our own selves. And I'm not going to say myself, because I consciously am aware of who I allow to influence me. But these are young people, and people, mature people as well. No one is truly safe from it. It's just really, the type of person that's subjecting others to it is when your intentions are evil and dark, and you can't control yourself. You have no sense of humanity or compassion or love. You just talk about it because you can't be about it. It's an action, but it's all just words and gibberish to you, because you have utilized it as a means to control and manipulate people because they fall for it. So,
And I will add that people aren't falling for absolutely, completely ridiculous statements.
Right.
The cult leader is using half truths for a nefarious purpose. For example, when it comes to sacrifice, he's playing off people's knowledge of how sacrificing something can ultimately lead to a later reward. For example, people know if I sacrifice going to the club, or sacrifice buying these shoes or this video game, that if I save my money over time, that sacrifice will lead to something in the long run. If I go to the gym and I work out and I lift weights and I stop eating certain things, in the long run, that sacrifice will end up to something good. So he's playing off of people's knowledge of sacrifice, but not letting them know that that sacrifice is not really going to lead to nowhere. So people are thinking, if I sacrifice my whole life, then I must get a big old return when I die. So these people who are underneath this cult influence are thinking, and we also have to understand the common narrative that's in our psyche of, in order to get to heaven, you got to go through hell. So that's what these people are doing to make it make sense on a small level without going into the intricate cult dynamics. The reason cult leaders stay in the cult is because they believe you gotta go through hell to get to heaven. And what do hell look like? Getting beat, being told you're not worthy to produce children, restricting you from all the joys of this world so that when you die, then you'll get the real joys. Because the joys in this world, they really an illusion. But don't mind me taking all these flights. Don't mind me turning up on the hen. Don't mind me smoking it down with Snoop Dogg in the back. Don't worry about me living the good life right here in front of you. You just keep suffering and sacrificing because you ain't gonna get your heaven when until you die. But me, the cult leader, I'm gonna get mine now because I died already. That boy crazy.
Said I
That boy
died.
crazy.
Back.
That boy said, I done died already. I done went through hell. See, you ain't went through hell
Right,
yet.
I
So you
overcame
gotta go
all
through
my
your
hell.
hell.
You still
I overcame hell. So I deserve my heaven right now, but you don't.
but
So
I
it's
did
a
want to
bunch of no, go ahead, man.
yeah, okay. I did want to go into, since we were talking about all the sacrifices and stuff, um I did want to talk about or go into that question that you asked me earlier, T, when you were asking me about the women and whether I don't know if I can say that word on here.
Yeah, you can just say the pact.
Okay, the pact was made and stuff. Um, I remember him the first time him asking the whole, I think it was like the whole group at that time. I can't remember where we were, but he asked us all like, if something, what did he say? He said, if I was gone, what would y'all do? Like if I were to be unalive, what would y'all do? A lot of people said they would just go on to keep teaching the knowledge. They would go on to keep living in nature. They would go on to just keep doing what they're already doing, right? And
That ain't what y'all said. That is not what y'all said. No, ma'am. No, no, no. Maybe behind the scenes, but your man said, what did he say? He gonna cut his arm off? What did he say? What her husband said? Nope, nope, nope. Let's see what else she got to say. Because that's not what we heard. We heard something totally different. I cannot live without you. I can't. I can't live without you. That's what we heard. We didn't hear all that. I'm going to keep teaching. We ain't hear all that. Let me let her finish. Let me let her finish. That's what I heard, Blanchy Pooh. That's what I heard, my Pooh Bear. I just thought that, my brain cells was going. That's not what we heard. Oh man, y'all are the best. That's what I heard. Let's see. Let's see.
I think mostly everybody said that. Some people said like they would go back to their lives, like some people really did. Um
We didn't hear that part neither. We didn't hear nobody say they going back to their life. We didn't hear none of that. Maybe y'all said that behind the camera, but we ain't heard none of that. They was talking about going to the upper room. That's what we heard. You forgot what your husband said. He probably, that's what he was true. He's now Aaron. It's okay. It's okay. But we ain't heard none of that. She must forgot that we saw that episode. Sometimes they forgot. They must forget that certain episodes. I was asked yesterday to leave the live stream because I asked some uncomfortable questions, and the moderator didn't want me asking. They said they were huge. They are healed. They told me 15 years in the field was a zero. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. We're happy they're gone. We're happy that they're breaking out of this spell. But for 6 years, some of you guys have bashed us, talked about us. Y'all did a lot of things to us. So people have questions. And if you don't want to answer it, you can always say, next question, I don't want to answer that. Like, even if I got people on here and you guys don't like it or whatever, I'm not gonna block you guys because y'all don't like somebody. I'm not gonna block you guys because you guys dislike somebody. Everybody has an opinion, but I wouldn't do that. But certain things, you know, you owe the people these things. Cause we trying to heal from what we were seeing for 6 years. We trying to heal from that. They forget that we saw them get humiliated. People have got attached to them. Some people got really emotionally attached to you guys because if they wasn't emotionally attached to you guys, you wouldn't be talking. Y'all would not be talking right now. So a lot of people, they got attached to you guys and they seen you guys, not all you guys get used, abused. We seen a lot of bad things happen to you guys. So of course people are going to ask questions because y'all took us on this journey with you guys. And at the same time, they should be, saying thank you. They have said it, but I will always be like, thank you guys, because they must forget that we sat there when when Kendra went there a virgin. We remember when she was a virgin. We remember how that went down when her thing was taken from her. We were there. We was there when y'all was having problems and one minute he took her, then had her up there away from her child. You had to be a single dad. We were there. So people need to get that out of their system too. They need to know that you guys are really okay before they open up to you. So yes, they have questions. If you got to show people compassion also. People was traumatized. Some people were, well, not me, but some people was really traumatized watching y'all go through what y'all went through. Some people prayed every night for you guys. Some people was wishing you well all the time. Y'all have made an impact in some people's lives, And then when this took place, some people are happy, but they still have a bad taste in their mouth. You have to respect that too. So then we all can move on. But you can't be like, blah, 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 and block. No, you can't block people. They didn't block us when they was doing all that fuck shit, not them in particular, but all of them. They didn't, they made, people saw that. And we saw all the things, what was going down. Some matter of fact, that created a lot of YouTube wars. Watching you guys, friends were no longer friends no more. Because some people were still hoping for y'all and wishing for y'all to get out of there. And then other people wanted the worst. And that started YouTube wars too. A lot of people started out as friends. Now they're not friends no more. They started going in on each other. They turned against each other. What you guys, y'all know this. Y'all know this. So if you want people to have patience with y'all, you got to have patience with them too. So I'm glad you said that, Sweet Talk. I'm glad you said that. I work with real victims. 15 years on the ground on call. They all were willing participants. They went there a free will. They also have to be held accountable. I don't disagree with that. I agree. I don't disagree. You are absolutely correct, love. But that part they know. But see, the thing is, they may not feel like they need to be held accountable for certain things because they did it to each other. They all did things to each other. So if I did something to you and you did something to me, who am I held accountable for? They all did things to each other. So they may not feel they need to be held accountable for their actions because they did it to each other. I think that they should be held accountable for letting people say what they have to say and not oh, don't say this and don't say that. No, they should be held accountable for. Because we seen 6 years of nothing but abuse. Nothing but abuse. And like I said, some people were rooting for y'all. It started a lot of YouTube wars. Some people still not friends, YouTube friends today. You know, thank the people who prayed for you. Always be thankful. I used to always say I'm thankful before when it was no need to say I'm thankful. Now is the time that when you say I'm thankful, it's a need to say it now. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the guys who kept me in their prayers. I'm thankful for you guys who, wanted to make sure that we got out there. But like I said, maybe certain things that they are not saying sweet talk because I'm not going to jump the gun, but maybe they have had a talk behind the scenes that they are not able to talk in public. So maybe they have to watch what they say. Maybe they did speak to Tabitha. I don't know. We don't know. We know that there were no additional charges there, but I don't know. So I'm just hoping that they just have to be careful with their words. So I don't know if they're doing that to save their asses, but their asses cannot be saved because Nature Boy can tell whatever he wants to say about them. And that's the part that they are missing. That's the part that they are missing. That New Jack City part, when they got down to the end, they have no idea what Nature Boy is going to say about them. If he get hit with football field time, oh, you damn right. True. Oh no, True did this. This one did that. Just like y'all say, y'all don't know a lot of things that happen. Huh. He gonna place you guys there. Oh, ain't nobody safe, baby. Ain't nobody safe. There is nobody safe. None of y'all. He don't. If he ain't like you that much in the coat, can you imagine if he get hit with football years? You think he? Oh, I ain't gonna snitch. Shit it. And got immunity for testifying. I think that's the reason why something unless they took a plea deal. I hope so. I hope so. Because I don't know about the snitching, but when you're in a coat, that's a whole big difference. That's a whole big difference. Because here we did things together, but you influenced me, and this is what I saw. It ain't like we all was getting something out of it. No, only Nature Boy got something out of it. They didn't get anything out of it. Nature Boy did. So that's not snitching no more. We didn't do all this together. And Nature Boy gonna figure, oh, I taught them this, and now they think they're gonna just be free. Y'all know Nature Boy is better than that. Ain't no he doing football field time, and y'all just gonna go on with your life. I think y'all know Nature Boy a little bit better than that. So hopefully y'all don't think y'all safe. Okay? Hopefully y'all think y'all safe. And you think he ain't gonna tell them drone sisters to turn on Kendra ass? They're gonna make up shit Kendra did. They're gonna make up stuff Velvet did. They're gonna make up stuff. Whoever think that they're safe, they got a plan for you. Forget about the IRS. There's other things we don't know about, Marquise. Yeah, Empress. So yeah, you get to talk freely. Oh no, he ain't get hit with them with that time yet. We ain't get hit with that time. Ha ha. Ha ha. Because when Janae, if she goes and testify, she got to tell who was in that house. She got to tell what happened when she left that room. When she named them names and say, yeah, as I was coming down the stairs, such and such was right there. Such and such was on the couch. Oh, all y'all names is in it, whether you like it or you don't like it. Then they're going to want to ask you what happened. And they're going to be like, True did that. No, Musa did that. Oh, hell no, Solar did this. So, yeah, Solar, that's Solar. Remember Solar said he ran it? Oh, yeah, Solar ran it. Okay, y'all keep talking. Y'all talking to the wrong people. See, that's what they should be telling you guys. They shouldn't be telling you, oh, sit back and tell your story. You need to go tell your story to who you need to tell that story to. Because y'all ass ain't safe. It ain't safe. What you want? Baby, I got it. Tell it, Blanche. Oh, I'm asking for is just a little. You better. Oh, shit. You better tell your story to the right people before somebody else tell your story. They better go tell their story in their position before somebody else do it. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And we ain't gonna act like we not in the real world. We in the real world. Y'all back in the real world. I would have said we had 6 chickpeas and 4 grains of rice for Solo. I know, right? We ain't eat, god dang it. We had grains of rice. We didn't even have a whole spoon. We had grain. I could count the grains. I could count the rice we had on our fork, damn it. Shit. They think they just got to be free. Oh, hell no. Y'all keep forgetting. If Nature Boy manipulated your ass to be up in there, he manipulating on y'all asses. Sorry, YouTube. He manipulating on y'all right now. Him and the Drone Sisters, they manipulating stuff right now. Wait till he get hit. Your Honor, wait, Your Honor, wait. I ain't do this by myself, Your Honor. I didn't do this by myself, Your Honor. Here's my story. Once upon a time, not long ago, he gonna start singing the damn Fresh and Bel-Air song, damn it. Let me tell you how I came the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, the fresh, nasty prince of Carbanation. Well, here's my story about how my life got twisted upside down. He gonna be in there like he Will Smith, baby. Oh, you better ask somebody. If he wasn't a real stand-up guy now, you think when he get hit with them charges, he gonna be a stand-up guy? He said, "Oh hell nah." You watch. Say you moving with your auntie and your uncle in Carbanation. He was like, most of the stuff I didn't even know. Solar knew this. I ain't know nothing. Solar did this. I ain't did that. Remember, Nature Boy name ain't on nothing. Nature Boy name is not on nothing. Net. Nothing. He used your name for everything. So that will coincide with his story. Y'all better get y'all shit right if you ain't got it right. I know, right, Blanche, fool? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shit of that. Shit of that. Shit of that. You watch. You gonna turn right into the Fresh Prince. Your Honor! It's a little story about how my life got twisted upside down. You watch. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Y'all wanted that one mind, one thought. Y'all gonna be in one jail. Fucking with Nature Boy. One mind, one heart, one love, one thought, and one jail. Keep messing around with Nature Boy if you want to. He ain't going down without a fight. Tell it. Tell it. You better tell it. They're gonna be turned into Etta James. Yeah, one mom, one cell. Exactly. But again, it's all in their mind. Ain't no jails are not real, Blanche. You pull, it's not real. It's all in their mind. This they thoughts. It's the thought. These are thoughts. They are not true. None of this is real. It's not. Them bars are not real. They're not real. Okay. I can't with y'all. I cannot. I'm gonna be taking a nap, but I'm glad I'm not taking a nap. So when I go to bed, I go to bed. One mind, one cell. One mind, one cell. I can't stand y'all.
But then after everybody said what they would do, he said, all of y'all should want to go with me. You know, y'all shouldn't want to.
Oh, dang, I forgot about that.
Reading.
Oh, you were there at the time too?
Yeah, I forgot that
I
was
think that might
the
have been Nicaragua
correct.
or something. I don't know, but he
Yeah, that
said
was the
all
correct
y'all.
answer, right?
He said the correct answer is y'all should want to go with me.
Yep.
Anywhere I go, y'all should want to go.
Y'all gonna go.
I didn't really I guess I didn't really realize it in that moment what he was really like, that he was really saying that like that was a pact thing. I guess like it just seemed like so not something that would ever happen, like something so far-fetched that it was like
No, it wasn't no pact. He was just simply saying, when I go, your ass go. That's what he was saying. To see what y'all was going to say, because y'all thought if he go, y'all going to be free. He letting you know something happened to me. You better hope and pray that I don't blow your asses up. That's why he said we all going together. That's what I'm trying to tell you. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. That's what the hell he was saying. He wasn't talking about up there. No. No, ma'am. He was trying to say, y'all need to trust in me. Because if I go down, I got the power to take you Negroes down. Because y'all better hope and pray I don't give up none of y'all names. That's what he was saying. So he made y'all think about it to make you think what way y'all would do. And y'all didn't catch on when he was telling you what he was going to do. That's what you missed. With him telling you what he gonna do. And Kendra just answered my question. She just basically said the same thing I say. She just didn't realize. He meant snitch on you. That's what he meant. He gonna snitch. If he gotta do that time, y'all, like I said, ain't nobody safe. Y'all better watch out. Let's go.
well, I guess I don't have to really worry about that, right now. But and I personally just felt like, because he would say other things too, like if I left, what would y'all do? You know, like if I just left y'all, like what would y'all do? But I think like I didn't want him around, so I don't know how these women would really respond now, like if he was to say like, y'all, I'm ending it, y'all need to end it too. I don't know how they would respond. You know, that the truth of the matter is we sacrificed everything. I mean, we came there, we left everything we ever knew. We sacrificed so much, you know, gave up all of our passions and things that we love to do, people that we loved. We gave our names, you know, we took on a whole new identity. Adopted this radical personality. Now we can't even have a normal conversation with anyone without saying that you're supposed to be natural and da da da. You know, it's like we have this radical personality now. We gave up all of our money. You know, like literally the second day I was there, I was told, "You got your cards? You got any credit cards? Give it to me." You know, you don't have anything. You know, at that point, and so
You're gonna give
who
up
they
some more.
are is just who they have been being, you know, who he's been telling them that they are. So I hope that they would not do that and go through with the pact. But I can't say that that wouldn't happen because, you know, knowing a lot more now about Jonestown and stuff like that and other cults, people have done some crazy things for these radical groups, within these radical groups, and I just don't know. I really hope that doesn't happen,
Yeah.
but
You better hope it
I
don't happen to
appreciate
you.
you kind of just expressing all of that, because I know a lot of people have been asking and just kind of wondering from your viewpoint kind of where you were at, you know, hey, is this, but like you said, it really was, you know, with him having so many different personalities and you never really knowing who you were going to get from one day to the next, who knows. And then again, you know, he was kind of a, you know, he was this polarizing figure online, but he was also had this side to him where, you know, he exposed this weakness to certain members of the cult. Because I know, like, even when he was, you know, back in Honduras, there was a lot of intimidation. There were a lot of members that were intimidated by Eligio and the control that he had over the group. But there was also a lot of those same people that saw him curl into a ball when they were robbed and curl up like a baby and run away and not protect the women or the group. And so there's these stark contrasts and these conflicting type of, you know, the words don't match
He
up with
may
the
not have
actions.
left without.
But then also there's this hyper masculinity or this hyper, I don't know what the word is, Aaron, you might know what the word I'm looking for, but there's this extremism on one end to mask the fact that in deep down you're this pathetic coward who is doing all of this stuff to people to hide the fact that you're truly a coward deep down. So I'm going to torture you. I'm going to tell you to hurt other people. I'm going to tell you to hurt yourself. I'm going to abuse you myself. I'm going to deprive you. I'm going to rob you of everything that you have. I'm going to isolate you. I'm going to keep you away from the world, and I'm going to put you on blast when I feel like putting you on blast. So,
T, my dear, the T, my dear, I get what you're saying, and you are 120% correct. The part that you're missing is he alone cannot do it by himself. Him alone could not have done it by himself. And that's where they come in at. You keep saying he. No, he was the mastermind. Yes. But him alone could not do it by himself. He had help. He had help. Even though they did it out of their better judgment, which is true. And they know if they didn't do it, what was going to happen to them. But it could have been a thing. All of y'all said, F this ninja. We ain't doing nothing, and left his ass there. But that didn't happen. See, I'm only saying that his reflections. I'm only saying this because if that man got to do football time, you guys' names are going to come up. There is nobody safe. Musa, he could think he's staying far away. Musa was another one. Right hand man. Musa, to me, everybody got their own pick. Musa, to me, was Little Nature Boy. He got all his cadence. Musa could do everything like Nature Boy. When Musa name gonna come up, True name gonna, when they watch these videos, they know who was the main men. Main men, from what we saw, may not be reality, but from what we saw, his main people was loyal, true. Maybe I'm speaking upon the past tense. That's why I'm using them names. Musa, loyal, Solar, and Musa, loyal, Solar, and another one. And another one. And that's from way back. Y'all was there through damn near everything. So y'all can say, hey, I'm out. No, I keep telling you, you guys ain't out yet. You guys are not out yet. And I wish people stop telling you that. Salute to you, worldwide. Coffee time. How are you? Yes, he was accused of rape by Piggly Wiggly. Yes. He almost, we already seen him do a damn near violate Afro. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I know you want to make them feel good. Sure, make them feel good. But you still have to let them know their reality. You still gotta hit them with that reality. Ain't nobody, y'all ain't safe. Y'all not out and y'all not safe unless he get that football time and he don't give up no name. You can say what you want to say to us. We wasn't there. Nature Boy was there. Then if you think he used to put y'all against each other before, he gonna put y'all against each other now. Yeah, when Solar did this, True was there. When True did this, Musa was there. So every time y'all say we don't know something, he gonna make y'all know something. He gonna put y'all there. Then you got to answer for a lot of things. Because they are asking him a lot of questions right now. They want to know if he get hit, they're going to want to know his ins and his outs and who did this and who did that. Unless, again, I don't know what you guys are doing behind the scenes. I just hope you guys are protecting yourself because there is nobody safe. Nobody is safe at all. So to sit up there and be happy because you assume they're not in a cult no more, yes, you are. You may not be an active participant, but you still are. You think he gonna sit up there and he love y'all so much. He gonna just let y'all walk free while he do football time? Shit in it. No. So I hopefully y'all doing things behind the scene to protect yourself. And the main thing you have to do to protect yourself is tell your story before Nature Nut does. Tell your own story. Hopefully, like somebody say, get your immunity, but tell your own story. That is the best way you can protect yourself. You could say I witnessed. You could say whatever. You could say, hey, while I was doing this, he had the guys over me. So if I didn't do it, this is what was going to happen to me. See, that's how you guys should be talking, like your lives were always being threatened. That's how you guys should be speaking. You should be talking like how y'all was always scared. If I'm going to do an interview, I would always speak like my life was threatened. This was going to happen. A lot of things, even if you don't discuss it, that's how you should sound. So if y'all ever get called up there, it'll all coincide with each other. You can't get up there and say, oh no, 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 oh no, no, no. No, no, no. Like I said, the best way to save your ass is to tell your own story before Nature Boy tell it. Then you think y'all was fighting before, y'all gonna be fighting again. Maybe not physically, but I mean by being put against one another. They gonna make y'all all rat each other out. Because he ain't gonna rat this one out. So one person, he rat one person out, that person is gonna rat this person out. Everybody gonna be ratting each other out. Unless he love you that much, he is willing to do all the time for you. So that's a gamble you guys are saying. When Nation Boy does the I love you song, it's over. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. You talking about them healing, you better be talking about them going possibly to jail. To jail. Remember the same way y'all told on each other in the cult? It ain't over yet. It's not over. Y'all gonna have to tell on each other again. Y'all taking a gamble. Y'all gambling. Is he gonna say my name or not? Don't come up with craps. Don't come up with craps, baby. Now let's continue this. I'm gonna be good.
So that you feel like your whole life is in this one person's hands, and any little measure of any little crumb that he gives you, okay, you're in charge of this, you're in charge of that, makes you, it validates you in some way. Meanwhile, he's being validated by being in a depraved, abusive
Again, wrong thing to say. Wrong thing to say. I was not in charge. I would have cut her off and say, I was in charge of nothing. I wasn't in charge of nothing. Because if you're in charge and he's not there, that means you're now doing things of your own free will. So that means you could choose to remember he ain't there no more. You could choose to be lenient, or now you could feel that you're the boss and now you're doing them dirty. Be careful with the choice of words. You gotta be careful. I was cut her off and say I wasn't in charge of nothing. Nope, I wasn't in charge. I took orders from a cult leader. That's what you supposed to be saying. I'm just trying to help you. I know I ain't in charge of shit. I ain't do nothing of my own free will. No, I did not. Thank you. I would not gamble. Let's go.
psychopath. So it's really interesting how all of this stuff works. And I wish that I had I don't have the capacity to truly break it all down right now. It's just so, so overwhelming overall. So I know you guys are, every day is it, how is it like on a day by day for you guys? Is it you're finding out new things on a, day by day, week by week basis? How has it been just researching and I'm really understanding, some of these different personalities, I guess, these energies that y'all have had to deal with, kind of coming to terms with that on a
At first, it was conflicting because me and Kendra used to go back and forth. Like, should we be talking about this much? Know what? You know what? Let's just delete everything. Stop talking about this. Let's not watch it no more, and let's just go live our life. Yeah, man. But then we would come back and want to know what's going on. And so we was kind of confused as to should we be paying attention this much
Yes,
or
you
should we
should.
be moving on with our
No,
life.
you
But
should
we
not.
made a final decision and said that this is going to be a lifelong journey for us, largely because of Dr. Steve Hassan, like she mentioned earlier. Dr. Steve Hassan, he was in a cult in the 70s. Here we are, 2023, and he still talk about it. So we was able to come to a final decision by looking at the responses of a lot of ex cult members who are largely unknown to the common person. There's plenty of people who left cults and went on to get their PhDs and PsyDs in sociology and psychology to take their experiences and not suppress them and keep them hidden, but to be an advocate and a what I guess it's not whistleblowing, but to be an advocate and a activist in spreading awareness about a phenomenon that is largely unknown or often considered to be a joke. So me.
All right, let me help you. Let me help you out here. You got to see what the differences are. The differences are some cults are really big. So a lot of them just follow, but your cult was smaller. So that means you guys were more hands on. So you no, we gotta respect that they did their research, but you gotta understand, Marquise, in the research, you now have to weigh out the differences. What makes my cult, the cult that I was in, different from them? And the difference is some of them cults were really big. Some of them cults, people, that's their way of living. Some was born into the cult. And it was sometimes with so many people, they were not hands on. That's why they can go on and live off with their lives. You guys were hands on because that was a small cult. So you have to put all of these things in perspective. So you can study cults, but you also have to study the size. How many people? Your cult with Nature Nut was small. It was only you guys. So a lot of things, like a lot of times in big cults, of course, the smaller people don't know what's going on because that's a big cult. But you guys was a smaller cult. You guys stayed in the same house. Unlike them, they probably had different houses. And the main people stayed in the house with the cult leader. All of you guys stayed together. I'm trying to help them. I'm just giving them things to think about that they did not think about. So you can compare it. Yes, you can. The the things that was done to them, yes, they were done to you too. The difference is y'all was a smaller cult. So it was just y'all. So you guys are more hands-on. You guys slept together. That did what he said. And then the women, was only so many women. They seen a lot. You seen a lot. Unlike other cults, they are spread out, but they still following the cult leader. It's a big difference. So I hear what you're saying. So if that leader went down, of course the rest of them could now live their lives because they wasn't directly with the cult leader every day because he assigned certain people to watch over them. It was just y'all. Why I say this? Because if Nature Boy gonna start singing, All of you guys is going to be in the song. All of you guys are in the song. Like I said, you guys are not safe yet because he hasn't got hit with them years. Once they get hit with them years, y'all names are coming up, and it's going to come up anyway because y'all was in the house. They're going to have the number one question that y'all are avoiding, or maybe y'all did say that I didn't hear. If Janae takes that damn stand and they ask her and she said, they beat me up, she's going to have to name who is the they that beat her up. And remember, they can't sit around together and talk for each other. One is going to be on a stand at a time. And they may separate y'all so y'all can't connect to each other. And then when she went up there, this was somebody in the room. That name is going to come up. Who was in the house? Them names is going to come up. You're not safe because y'all was in the house. Unless she could say, hey, this one was not in the house, that one was in the outlot. But then again, when that took place, y'all know the conversation that was said. Yes, co-defendants, because they are a small co. I'm glad they're getting the information. They need to get it. They need to find out what's going on. Like I said, the minute she said they put people in charge, I would have cut her off real quick. No, I wasn't in charge of nothing. I no. Let's get out of it. Let's get this so that could be on record. I wasn't in charge of nothing. I wasn't higher up nothing. I was just like the little old folks, taking orders just like the rest of them. I wasn't in charge of nothing. Because the minute you say you was in charge of some things, that means you got some information. You know some things. For you to get in charge, for you to be in charge, do you understand? You have to do certain things to be in charge. They just don't, I'm going to pick you to be in charge. No. Y'all had to say some things, do some things, or whatever to be in charge. And if it was just that simple to be in charge because he picked anybody, you have to let that know. You have to let that be known. No. He just picked anybody. Who he felt that day that was in charge. Was nobody really in charge. Get that out the way. Because that means you're exposed to some information. They're gonna want to know that information. Let's carry on. I promise I'll be good. I keep saying that, but I have to keep correcting them because they talking but do not understand they're going down a deeper hole. And the T, let them talk. Stop putting words in their mouth, okay? Let's go.
Me and Kendra, we decided not to suppress our interest, but we just said we're gonna go in. We're gonna keep up with everything. But we're not gonna keep up with it to be these entertained gossipers. We're gonna keep up with everything, and we're gonna put actual, credible psychological analysis behind these things, so that we can have a real understanding of what happened to us rather than an overly opinionated one. So, how it's been for us has been a constant learning experience. And we've shifted our involvement with the cult from something that was, something oh man, I wish, man, why I went over there, man. Dang, I wish I wasn't on the internet, man. Dang, I wish I could just erase this, to, okay, this ain't going nowhere. Forget about it. It's not going nowhere. It's never going nowhere. Even if people stop talking about it on the internet, you can't erase it from your mind. You might be able to forget something that happened to you that wasn't as impactful, because that's what the brain does. The brain doesn't process and hold everything, but the things that are really impactful impactful in your life, you never forget it. There's something that happened to some of y'all when y'all was 5, and you remember it like it was yesterday, depending upon the impact it had on you. So by taking this, experiencing it, and owning it, we just made it a part of us. And so that's why we back online. That's why our voice, because I don't want somebody to find themselves waltzing into another carbonation 15 years from now, 20 years from now, and it could have been avoided by me speaking out. Because that was largely the reason why I got involved and stayed so long, because I had no identifying markers to pull from. Even though you could say some of the stuff he was doing were absolutely ridiculous, there's a lot of things that was online and offline that people don't have an in-depth understanding of. So how it's been for us is a constant learning cycle and a constant involvement that allows us to move past the fears we had of a lot of the, the the what do you call it, the threatening ideologies of the cult, as far as, oh, we're disloyal, and we're working for white supremacy, and we're going to hell. I got to a point when I was in the cult, I said, you know what, I'd rather just go to damn hell. If putting up with this cult is the requirement for going to heaven, let me go ahead and get to hell for 200 Alex. But it's been a journey, it's been a process, and every day has been unique in its own self. But it's really amazing to be on this journey with somebody that directly shared the experiences with you, rather than somebody who simply watched them.
Not only that, but somebody who's willing, ready, and able to go through that healing process with you. You guys are so fortunate to have each other and to have this, this connection that we all saw that y'all had even when you were in the cult. He was doing everything he could to pry you apart from each other, could never, have a level of respect for genuine partnership, because he never had one. None of those girls that are there even now truly like this dude. And so I appreciate you guys coming back to tell your story and kind of, just going with the flow of things, because you're right, this is never going to go away. You guys are forever indebted into this experience that you've had that is liberated you guys in a way, and also gave you your baby boy. So you know we we appreciate you guys being willing to answer those tough questions, and doing so with the level of emotional intelligence, because that's super important as well. We see some of the ex cult members that are still kind of getting to that point, and it's a process to. Not everybody is blessed with emotional intelligence. And that's people in a cult, outside of a cult, that's just your normal everyday type of person. But it's nice to see that you guys are doing everything that you can to just keep yourself educated, and then also educating other people about what led you there and what led you out. That's important. So thank you guys.
Yeah, I thank you actually. But I do appreciate you and everything that you have done. And I wanted to say that I know y'all can hear Job back here yelling, but I wanted to say that a major part of where we are today is because of family. I know that a lot of people. I know that when I was in the cult, I was told that your biological family is your lower self, who you're supposed to ascend from, and you're chosen out of that family. You're the black sheep of that family, and no one understands you and your family, and you're supposed to transcend them or whatever. But when I came back, who had my back was my family, and they really, really just showed me every day so much love. They showed Ja so much love. Aaron so much love. You know, I know that certain people come out of cults and they're afraid to go to their family. Jaja, I know you. I know. Um, they're afraid to talk to their family about what they have been through and stuff like that. And mind you, I don't like go into this stuff. But still, just having them there and them being so open to me and supportive of me. For instance, my mom supported me and sponsored me so I can take a art course. So I was able to do that as a part of my healing and getting back into me and what I want to do with my life. Uh, you know, I just my family, like they're taking me to Jamaica for my 30th birthday party. Like there's just so much that
Oh my
I'm doing
goodness.
with my family. Like that's a major part. Like not just learning about all this stuff and being immersed in the cult, but really just like going back to who I am. Like I was raised around just really good people, so I'm just getting back to that life, you know, and just being one with that. And I know some people feel like they got to go out here, be on their own, and you know, kind of like still do the spiritual stuff or whatever, and you know, like
Say
I'm
it.
this,
Say
but
it, Kendra. Say it.
like
Tell
I'm
it,
trying to say it
girl.
without saying it,
Back
but
to life.
you know,
Back
yeah,
to
like they don't want to get back to
reality.
the
Like,
reality. They don't want to get back to
yes.
reality, but you can't do that spiritual mumbo jumbo stuff forever. You know, you got to get back. You got to get to reality and what's real. Um, there's people that love you. You know, if you are open to that and you're willing to receive them. A lot of people don't want to be told that what they're doing doesn't make sense or doesn't align with anything realistic, so they run from that and they don't want to talk to their family because they don't want, you know, they don't want the real. But your family gonna be real with you and they're gonna tell you like what you doing, you know, we don't what's going on. But if what's real is they gonna support your growth. Like my family is very supportive of my growth and of my happiness and of my peace, and that has done wonders for me. You know, not closing myself off to that, but being really open to that has done wonders for me. And I'm a type of person that I want to be independent. You know, I don't want to be relying on people, you know, either. But it takes time, you know, and now I'm getting to the point where I am going to be, you know, more independent and stuff like that. But um one thing my mom has been kept she just keeps telling me is like, girl, you gotta do what's best for you. Your life is not gonna look like mine. It's not gonna look like
They can
anybody
do it,
else's. It's gonna look like
Madary.
yours. And so, yes, getting back to the friends that I knew and loved, and you know, spending time with people. Me and Aaron. I know
I
people was
agree,
wondering like,
Empress.
does Aaron see Ja? Does
Mm-hmm.
Aaron see me? Like we see each other
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
often and stuff. Yeah, just being able to get back to life, like get out of the clouds, get back to life. So yeah, I just seen
And
Erica
having a
Badu. I
bond,
just
you
went to a
know.
concert
What?
last month. Yeah, I went to see Erica
Oh
Badu.
my
That was
God.
so good. Like that was
That's
so good.
awesome.
I'm
That's
about to go see
great.
Beyonce, and I don't even know why. My family just
Excuse
like keeps
me?
giving me tickets to go places because they're like, you gotta go do this, go do that. So I'm just like, I'm basking in it, really. You know, they've been showing me a lot of love.
Now, you just made a whole bunch of people jealous.
I I know. I
I know
don't even
Aaron's
know
like,
how
whatever.
it's
Nobody
happening.
want to see oh Beyonce. But yes, the ladies love Beyonce. My favorite song, you guys, if you have not listened to it yet, Plastic Off the Sofa. If you have a love in your life,
Man,
please listen to that. You
I like
guys,
that song.
OMG. I love it. Whenever, if I need a pick me up, a boost, whatever, I just go listen to that song and be in my feelings or whatever. That's awesome to hear, Kendra. Always knew that had to have come. You had to have had some roots there that were intact. And I'll say the same for Aaron as well. Or you could just, you know, I'll just leave it at that. I'm just glad that you guys are where you're at right now, and that you guys are seeing the world from outside of the cult, because you guys met in a cult. Now you're
Yeah.
meeting each other outside of a cult, and it's nice, and we appreciate being able to be a part of your journey. You don't have to share it with us, but you do share your bits and pieces and pockets of the things that you share, and we appreciate it. I appreciate it. I can't speak for everybody. I appreciate it because it's just your whole story is intriguing. Everybody's story is intriguing. So, you know.
I wanted to say two things. One, we appreciate you for allowing us to get on here. I mean, first of all, you just let us go for 6 hours, and we needed every last bit of it being, confined to the same rhetoric over and over and over again, only being limited to have this perspective about things and respond to things in this way. So I just want to say, and then now you got us on here for part two, and I don't know how many times you gonna let us do this, but as much as you gonna let us on, we gonna talk. You understand what I'm saying? And
This is
then
the archive. Y'all have free reign. I told Kendra I had to. I'm happy that we are up here right now. This is impromptu, so this is really nice. I'm sorry. Go on.
oh no, and the second thing I wanted to say about me and Kendra's relationship, that we noticed is that a lot of our issues was instigated and implanted.
You don't
Now, of
say.
course, me and Kendra don't have a flawless relationship. Nobody ever, you would never have a flawless relationship with anybody, whether that be boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, friend, brother, sister. There will always be some type of discord, some type of conflict with whoever you meet. But what I will know is that a lot of the issues that we were uh, provoked to create and express on live were fabricated for the cult leader's content. He created issues just so that there could be something to put on live. Me and Kendra's conflicts are minimal, damn near non-existent in
Yeah.
comparison
I don't think we have
because you guys have
issues you think.
communication. Your communication is on. Gotta be on
Yeah,
point.
we just talk to
On
each other.
point.
That's it.
Listen, man, we looking back, and I'm sure a lot of the ex cult members could attest to this. A lot of the issues, 95% of the issues in Carbonation was fucking Nature Boy. When that nigga wasn't present, a lot of issues surprisingly and mysteriously went along with him.
Hey,
When he was in
hey,
Atlanta, all
dumpling.
of the issues that he was having with
Hey,
the three
dumpling.
wives that he had were not present in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was a very peaceful, non-confrontational environment when Nature Boy was in Atlanta. Nobody was fighting. Nobody had any issues.
Not
Nobody
what
gave a
we
damn
heard.
when somebody was asleep.
That's
Nobody
not what we
cared how
heard.
much somebody was eating.
Uh-uh.
All of
We heard
95%
different.
of the issues in Carbonation originated with Nature Boy.
So how that girl get
And
beat
that's
up?
one of the things that was highlighted in me and Kendra's relationship. We actually like each other. Like, we don't have to get online and show y'all, hey, y'all, look at me and Kendra. Y'all believe we like each other? Hey, look at us, y'all. We at a restaurant. Look at me and let me tell y'all what me and Kendra doing. We don't give a damn about that because me and Kendra are too busy liking our relationship instead of trying to promote it as something that is good to the internet. And so I
Yeah.
just wanted to say that. You understand what I'm saying? That's one of the things I noticed about the absence of Nature Boy is how clear and unconfrontational your life becomes.
And that's evident in the way that you guys articulate your thoughts. So I love hearing that. Thank you so much. You guys, I wanted to let the audience know, as well as you guys, that I did finally get the video uploaded. So what I was going to do, I was going to let us kind of wrap up this part of it. And then I was going to go ahead and play this video because it really kind of just speaks to kind of the psychology from a purely psychological standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
What
And what we heard.
some of just kind of what it looks like when you're going through this certain stages of being in a cult and leaving a cult when you're already kind of on the edge. And so I think this is a perfect example.
Well, we's gonna have to catch that later, or y'all gonna have to catch the tea. But that's basically what is that, Niza? But in some of the we've seen a lot. I guess you just compiled it. But that girl done got beat up, and the girl almost, they said the girl was gonna burn the house, and they jumped her and all that other stuff. We saw something different. I don't know what they talk about, but they must forgot we were there. We were there. But anyway, we are done with this video. I appreciate each and every one of you for taking your time out to be here and to let's go over this. And I wish you all the best of the best. And I will catch you guys tomorrow around the same time. Hopefully, Lord's willing. Because I'll be just out there in the sun with them cheering, baby. Make a lady tired. Because that sun is like, boom. I'm getting all that vitamin D, overload of vitamin D, damn it. But you guys, peace out, and y'all have a great night. I am out of here. Until next time. And don't forget, if you like this video, hit that like, leave a comment, subscribe, do all three. Peace out to all my replay gang. All right now. Mwah! To you, Coffee. Peace out, Marquise. Thank you, guys. Oh, don't worry. We gonna on to the other channel, Coffee. We got some discussions, girl. We got some discussions. So I'll hit you up and let you know. So get ready when we go on the other side. We got some discussions. Peace, and I'm out. I might do that one tomorrow. I don't know. But we're going to have some discussions tomorrow on the other side. So get ready because you know you got to come on up, sister. All right, I'm really going for real. Peace out. I'm going to lay down.